Yeah, y'all know what it is, man.
Take a bear busy, get the squeezing, he tryna put on a show. Buckle strapped like the Navy, then it clips on every pole. Nigga know about Bug Nation, when it's up though we don't go. Cause shoot a moving, hella clips and hollow tips can make a show. Listen nines, 223s, got choppers and cool beans. They say Bug came through and left 50 shots on the steam. Big ass stick, he pull the trigger, it's kicking like gas feet. Big telescope on top of stick, that bitch reach 1,500 feet. Like what you want, got buku iron, nigga. What you tryna see, got 45, 40s and 9s, nigga. Anything you need. Got 223s and 62s, beats and he a different breed. Bug Nation, we go where we please and we'll never leave, nigga. Got buku iron, nigga. What you tryna see? Got 45, 40s and 9s, nigga. Anything you need, got 223s and 62s, beats and he a different breed. Bug Nation, we go where we please and we'll never leave. Bug Nation, we go where we please and we'll never leave. Bug Nation, we go where we please and we'll never leave, gang.
What's going on? Y'all know who it is. It's Tuckerberry Bees in the Bug Nation. Me and my co-host today is Guns and Barbecue. And tonight we got a special guest coming into the Bug Nation, man, for to talk about some products, man. Right here, homegrown here in Texas, man, in Euless, Texas. That's where he's located. And I'm you know what? I'm not gonna introduce him. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man. Come on in here.
What's going on, Tackleberry? How you doing?
Man, how's it going, brother? How you doing today, man?
Good.
Good. Barbecue, meet the man with the plan. Tell him who you are, man. Tell him who you are.
My name is Carl Howard. I am the owner, founder, and sole proprietor of Odin Armory. I make a product which mitigates a majority of recoil on particular handguns. We are branching out to some other models, but I can, during this video chat here, I will demonstrate what our part does and why it does it and how it does it. And, you know, hopefully you'll be more informed if you go out to purchase a product like this, which is a gas pedal / thumb rest, and what it does for you when you're shooting. And pretty much why we all need one. And so mine is the only product that fits in a holster and it folds flat and gives you the most surface contact. And we think our product's the best. So we'll let you make that decision.
And say, I'm telling you, I touched the product today and I own a few 1911s. And me and him talking, and I'm gonna try to get up in there and I'm gonna do something, but the product is awesome. And like I seen it with myself and the prototype, it was the prototype. And that's the prototype astounded me. You know, I'm dead serious. I mean, like I think we made Mr. Lee mad today. I think we got a little trouble today, you know what I'm saying? But man, the product is awesome. And I had, you know, when I talked with you earlier, I went and did my research. And, you know, I see when you have an idea, and if you don't launch it in the right way or take the right procedures or methods to launch it, people will steal your product.
They will.
Oh my God. I'm talking about intellectual property. I mean, people like they'll poach your product and try to sell it before you.
It sure will.
I tell you. What's going on? This is my other co-host, Tactical Ski. Now he had a sex change the other day, and so he had a gender reassignment, and so he's not feeling well over there. He went in to get something bigger to make his wife happy, but he got the same day she got now. So life sucks.
Taco party.
Look at barbecue, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, y'all, man. I touched this product today, like, yeah.
So I've got to ask because you made it sound like they're in the works of making one for a 1911. Because one, you mentioned you're as you put it, a small 1911 collection, which I'm like, we've talked about our 1911s, and when I talk about my 1911 collection, people are like, wow, that's a lot. And I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Then I talk to you, and you're like, I'm like, yeah, mine is child's play compared to Tackleberry's. But either way, my interest has already been piqued because 1911s were mentioned with one of these gas pedals.
Look, I'm not gaslighting. I'm not getting paid for this. It's just that when I see something that you know me, barbecue. If it's something, I tear up anything. When it's something that I don't feel like I can break it, and I'm playing with it, and I'm like really holding it for a very long time, and I'm really like giving it, the bug break. And when you can't give it the bug break within 10 minutes, say, man, that speaks volume, barbecue. I'm telling you, dude, it speaks volume. And dog, like, it make you feel like if anybody own a race gun, if you own a true race gun, it'll give you the feel of a race gun that you can put in a concealed carry package, something that you can actually tow. Because I told him, that's one of the things about gas pedals that I hate. Because if you don't have an open class race gun and you got this open holster, you got to be outside the waistband, you can put this inside any holster. It ain't like you got to get a proprietary holster. You can get a Codex, and man, he gave me some game on my light, on my Codex holster. You can take a regular Codex up to something you mold yourself and use with this product, man. That's what make it so astounding, dude.
Yeah, take one of those old holsters out of your drawer that you're not going to use anymore, and all you do is put some heat to it and mold it around the part, when it's folded up inside the holster, and that's all it takes.
That's all it takes, man. I'm telling you. And this live, if you want to show it, you can show it. It don't even matter. I'm not tripping on no YouTube policy. It ain't like they're gonna kick me off YouTube. I don't have no strikes. So you know what I'm saying? I don't have no strikes. But and from what he was telling me earlier, it's a Glock. They trying to do something for Glock. They got some in the future for Glock. Like they got a lot of products in the future of what they want to do with it. But if you feel it, barbecue, and you own 1911s, man, I can't describe it. Like I can't describe it. You'll have to do it yourself. You'll have to be hands-on. And then maybe when you touch it, you'll look like Skillet doing in the picture right there.
Yep. So, actually, I do have a question for him, though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Could you guys see doing any licensing agreements with any manufacturers to have these actually put on guns straight from the factory?
So, we were going to talk to Staccato about throwing the whole thing their way. Anything 1911 related, folding thumb rest, we're talking about throwing the whole thing Staccato's way, and therefore they would manufacture it, they would package it, they would sell it, and they'd own that section of the folding thumb rest. I own the patent, but they would get to use that whole section. So I was saying, kick me a high 6-figure, low 7-figure check, and we can skip all the royalties, but that's what it takes. And so, unfortunately, they just opened their new plant and they spent a lot of money on new CNC machines and moving all those. And so they said, not yet. Maybe we'll talk later. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it just gives me a chance to get it out onto the market and, really, get my share of the market, because I think they're going to see it that it's caught on like wildfire, and they're going to want to do a different design, but they got to come through me,
Yeah. Because it's all about he who holds the patent is the king.
Yep.
It's the king.
Absolutely.
It paid me for my royalties.
Right. My intellectual property.
Yeah. And who's who pays the royalty? Because see, that be the thing that that's what I go to companies now. Mm-hmm. I'm small, but I know what I can do, and mm-hmm. I know what I'm trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So sometimes they don't see your dream or they don't see your vision, and they think, well, this is just another gimmick. But by touching it and playing with this thing, it's groundbreaking.
Thank you.
And it's listen, it's groundbreaking. It's groundbreaking when people is emulating it already, they went from a
Right.
subpar product that they was trying to push and basically copied your product.
Mhm.
And now they trying to sell it as theirs.
Mhm.
So they must saw the wherewithal to let's go with this. Staccato, see it later. But see, that's what you call bull.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you call bull. And out, you know, Para Artness is gone now, so you can't
Right.
call them because I know they would jump on it. But that's when you call bull. You call these other 1911 because it's still people that tote 1911s as carry guns.
Mhm.
And they'll want that gas pedal. They want that pedal. You know, people want that
Right.
pedal, but the first thing come to mind is comfortable and signature. If you print signature, you don't want that that's gonna be sticking out like this to where it's gonna make your gun poke out like this, you know.
Mhm.
So that thing and that holster, like, man, it blew my brain. It blew my brain. I was like, man, that's why I told you. I was like, dude, I got to get you on here. You got to talk to these people. You know, a lot of people watch this live. They watch the live. They act like they don't. You know, I love my haters. You know,
Mhm.
they come in, but the word of mouth is something else. And I want you to get your product out there, man. Like I said, you're a local Texan and you local. And
Yeah.
I love to see the little man win sometime. And hopefully, you know, this application go in that we talked about for SHOT Show, and I could be a SHOT Show, and I just take it up there on one of my nice little, because it seemed like when you have to put it on something that's extravagant to get somebody attention.
Right.
So I put it on one of them old extravagant 2011s and take it to SHOT Show and let people look at it. You know what I'm saying?
So people asked us, are you going to be at SHOT Show this year for 2023? And I said no, because I don't know if they've researched how much a booth is, but
Nope.
right,
Nope.
like yeah, it's a pretty good grip. And then you can't even set up your own booth. You have to use their union people.
Oh, hell no. You paying all that money, you can't set up your own booth. That's
Right.
bull.
Listen, it's a that's Vegas. That's Vegas. When this Vegas, you know one thing. I tell everybody this, and they think I be exaggerating. If you a single person going by yourself, you need at least $10,000. If you're taking your old lady or you're taking a woman, you need $20,000 to have a great time in Vegas. To have a decent time to where you can enjoy Vegas. Because if you don't have no money, you can't enjoy Vegas. $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, you're not gonna enjoy Vegas. You're gonna you scratching, you ain't even scratched the surface, you're just there.
Mm-hmm. If you want to go see 4 or 5 shows, let's say you do a 7-day, you want to go see 4 or 5 shows, you want to gamble, you want to, you know, do some excursions and whatever. Yeah, you need that kind of
money. Before you even get there, just eating for 7 days, you're gonna be out $2,000. You're gonna be out $2,000. I'm dead serious. You're gonna be, man, look. I'm going to SHOT Show. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna eat what I want to eat when I want to eat. I'm gonna buy me some clothes because I'm not taking no clothes. I'm gonna buy clothes while I'm there. Man, come on. You're gonna blow a $20,000, $30,000 budget like that. Right. And then the SHOT Show. Then think about the festivities out the SHOT Show every day. Come on, man.
They got a range day, don't they now, don't they?
Yes.
Yep.
And I heard you got to be exclusive getting into that range day.
Well, yeah. So, what if I was going to go to SHOT Show? I was going to have to man either the booth inside and talk to all the, you know, the people on camera, or I was going to need to be at the range also. You know, one or the other, because reviewers go out to the range as well. So
exactly,
I can't be 2 places at once. So I need a person just as good as I am in explaining what the part does and how it does it, and, you know, the ergonomics and everything else, you know, to be able to, you know, do the part justice. So I do local gun shows and I flip people's wigs all the time. Like once they see it and they watch me do my demonstration, I actually grab the gun and I try to rotate it in their hand like it's recoil, right? Because we all break. So when we're out there, our wrist is the weakest part. So our wrists break right here. So, and that's not controllable to most extent. We're always going to have some kind of recoil.
Right.
That's why there's even thumb rests and gas pedals on 22s, because they want to minimize the little bit that they got. So, you know, 9mm worse, you know, it gets worse with 40, 357 SIG, all that stuff, right? So, but my guns shoot really flat, like really flat. and people were very surprised. Yeah, you can, if you go to my webpage, www.odinarmory.com, and look at Trayvon Barber. He's a, I think he's a masterclass shooter. But watch him shoot my part, and he's literally turreting, and the gun's not moving. It's totally flat, and that's how I shoot too. So people are really, really excited. I get a lot of reviews, a lot of just like, holy shit, I wasn't prepared for this. I just had to try it, and I'm so glad I did. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get into this.
Yeah, show it to them.
Okay,
Man.
cool. So I'm gonna talk about our version 1 part first, and what started this, and how Odin Armory started. So, fellas, if you're ever complaining to your woman and she says something snarky to you, take advantage of that moment and do what she says. Because the way Odin Armory started was, I was shooting race guns. I wanted to use my 6 hours, like the Legion and Shell and any other 6 hours that I had. But there wasn't good enough parts to compete in carry optics class. They all had thumb rests and stuff, right? So I was like, I want a thumb rest for this. And so I was complaining to her. I had the Go Guns gas pedal. My thumb kept slipping out of it every other shot. And I was always like trying to re-index that point, right? So she says, are you going to complain about it? Or are you going to make it? And then got all kind of snarky with me, right? And I was sitting there fuming. I was like, what is she talking to me crazy for? Maybe I do talk about the parts too much, or, what I need. And so I'm an electrical engineer by trade. And so I picked up my MacBook, and I opened the MacBook up, turned on my CAD software from engineering, electrical engineering to mechanical, and I went to work. So within about 3 days, I come up with a concept and a shape and a design and texture, and all I need to work on was angles and distance. So I ordered 3D printers, and I started printing plastic parts, put them up inside the gun, and I started feeling how they felt, and I got real excited at that point. We took those parts with us to the gun range, and I was throwing them into guns and letting other people feel them, some of my other shooting buddies, and they got excited. They felt the same initial excitement that I did, and I saw it on their face. So I was like, this definitely needs to be a metal part. So I had a metal part prototyped, and like when I shot it, like everything I was reserving or hoping for came true, and it literally was like a groundbreaking moment for me. I didn't realize I could shoot that flat ever. So I let some other people at the range try it, range officers, some other A class, B class shooters, and they all freaked the heck out. So that was a turning point for us. So yeah, I say if you're complaining at your wife, listen to them, because she was the whole reason that Odin Armory started. She was kind of a naysayer for a little bit. You're spending so much money, and I was like, honey, you don't realize what we're sitting on, and we have to do this. We have to. Going for broke. We did it. And we spent about $38,000 on everything. Yeah. That's the company, that's the lawyers, that's the patents, that's the I have several patents I opened up on another project. I'm gonna step off of this one for a minute. So imagine a 9mm that's going to shoot like a 22. So it's called it's called the Prometheus. And the reason I made the Prometheus was to beat the Logo Arms Alien.
Oh yeah,
Logo Arms Alien is not new technology. Carr has been using
old.
Yeah, a German company named Carr has been using it since the late 70s, early 80s, and they were producing guns like that. So Logo Arms just basically waited for the patents to run out and regurgitated technology, right? Kind of like we all did with Gen 3 Glock. So,
like everybody did the Glock Gen 3 when the patent dropped. They should have never let the patent drop. That was the worst thing on earth happening.
There's a finite time limit on those, right?
Yeah.
So you got to live it up while you got it. So I produced. Well, I haven't produced it yet. I'm prototyping a gun that counterbalances itself. So one half of the gun moves forward while the other half moves backward at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, you have insulation, right?
Using that brain.
The same weight and the same speed, and you can adjust the weight in the front by adding, little tiny weights to the front. So when you get the weight of the front dialed in exactly what the weight is on the back with the optic or without, and they're moving at the exact same speed, they're going to cancel. So my claim to fame will be is when you can hold the gun with 2 fingers and pull the trigger, and the gun doesn't try to jump out of your hand. It literally goes click,
Say, man, if you pull that off, I'm gonna sell my old lady. You hear me?
Hey y'all, I'm looking at no to interrupt you, but I'm looking at his page, Odom Armory. He only had 51 subscribers, man. Run his subscribers up, man.
Man, yeah.
Got a great product.
YouTube? You got a YouTube?
I do. I usually reserve my YouTube for simple videos, installation.
Man, look, type it in the chat right now. Type in your YouTube page so I can, because see, you gave me your IG, you didn't even give me the YouTube, but I've been ripping and running all day. I've been me and you doing the same thing. When I just called you, you was like, hey, I'm just gonna send you the link. Put in what you call them, dude.
It's Odom Armory. It's the same thing.
It's Odom Armory on YouTube.
Yeah, it's the same thing like you see on his name.
Well, I'm telling you, like, bro, like, if nobody never shot a real race gun, if you ever notice, all race guns have gas pedals on them. They have them on them, and I put a gas pedal on my CZ. Now the Parrot came with one. But I put one on a CZ Shadow. I got the Shadow Black, Acura Shadow, and I got just a regular Shadow Black. But on the Acura Shadow, I put the gas pedal. And like me and you was talking earlier, that was the biggest thing that I hated about that is I would love to conceal. Like I have a shadow I conceal carry. I really conceal carry a shadow. And I have one, and I was like, man, that pedal, it's that crazy holster you got to get for that. Whenever you got a gas pedal, you got to get that open holster that hangs, and you can't conceal it. And if you try to conceal it, it's gonna cut you open. You might have a slit, look like somebody can do surgery on you on your hip. It's too much.
Right.
But when you showed me that today, and the way it just slid in that holster, and I was like, "Oh man, this going on Athena. This going on Athena, man."
So you only got it for SIGs right now?
It is only for SIGs right now, but we are working. Well, I'm prototyping the 1911-2011 part actively, and I was just at the range shooting tonight. So that's why I'm a little late. The wife caught me coming out of the range, like, we need groceries. So, how do you tell the wife no?
You can't.
No. Keep that woman happy so you can do what you want.
You can't.
Yeah.
So that was your vision. That really, wife grab. Quit talking about it, do something about it.
Right.
Made you get out there and do something about it.
Right.
And you know what, man? I'm proud to have met you today, dude.
Yeah, well,
and I'm glad because you really bringing something to the market.
Much needed part, right?
Yeah, it's a much needed part because a lot of people. There's 2 things that make people can't shoot: grip, trigger pull. And most people don't know how to get a comfortable grip, on their firearm. And with that thing, bro, when you just, and it's so simple. You seen like when Mika grabbed it today, and you was like, now put your thumb here, and then she was like, whoa, just like, whoa. It's like, yeah, man, like
moment, right?
Yeah, that was like a whoa moment. Did you see it in her face? And like, that woman hated guns. Like when I met that chick didn't hate firearms.
Now, I'm gonna say this weekend, if I can't remember if I'm supposed to do the Lone Star gun shows, but if I'm not busy this weekend, let's go shoot. And let's put on some guns, and I guarantee you she's going to say, I want a 6-hour. I need this part, and I'm not going to shoot any other gun without it.
Yeah, she want a SIG, but the one that she want costs too much money. Well, it don't cost too much money because I don't want to spend that much money for her to have it.
That sounds so messed up, man. That's like messed up.
Hey, but listen.
She wants a sick nightmare, don't she?
I mean,
I am too honest, y'all. Look, check it out. No lie. I'm finna tell you what she want. I think it's the the old P226 X6. I think it's X6, X5. I think it's X6.
Yeah, the old German one.
Yes, the steel one.
Yeah.
The steel one with the compensator on the front. Yeah, that's the one she won. Silver Mag. It used to be 2020 years ago.
That's the weight kit on the front.
Yeah, you say that's the gun she won because I ran into that gun 20 years ago. And it was two of them. It was in Uncle Dan's pawn shop. He had the pawn shop over there on Marsh Lane.
Okay.
And we were over there before they closed it up. I played with it. It was $2,800 back then. And I was like, man, that, back then I was cheap. I'll buy 100 cheap guns. She was like, you need to get the gun. I'm like, I don't want that gun. She's like, get that gun. I said, I don't want that gun. Get that gun. You're going to hate yourself.
Oh, she was right.
20 years later.
He was right.
Now,
20 years later.
Did you see that SIG re-released that gun?
Yes. But in mind, Mil-Spec J have it right now. I shot it. It's not that one.
Yeah. It needs a weight kit. It does need a weight kit on it.
Yeah, it needs a weight kit. But listen, no lie. That gun is... I'm going to tell you what it shoots like. It's not as smooth as a Checkmate. It shoots like a souped up TS that went to Cajun Gunworks. It shoots like a souped up TS because Mil-Spec shot it and I one-handed at 50 yards. Pow, ping, ping. And I was like, ooh, nice. It was nice. It was nice. It's SIG. It's SIG, but once you had a West German SIG, it's a difference than this American SIG.
Right.
Like I say this and people think I'm dead serious. Once you shot a true West German SIG Sawyer, these American SIG Sawyers is not the same. It's even the X series with the striker fire.
Right.
It's not the same. It's not the same as the steel.
It's kind of like SIG builds the American versions for duty and military.
Right.
They're very loose, kind of like an AK is built, versus, precision firearms, right? Bolt action firearms. And the reason they build them loose is for sand and grit and dirt and, the environment. So it'll eat it and keep running, right? But you take any kind of, Atlas or Infinity or any of those type really refined guns and you put them in some kind of dirt, drop it in sand or something.
Oh no, they're stopping. They're seizing up. It's low because the tolerance is so tight. You can't work the dirt out. It just turns it. It just lock up.
Yeah,
it lock up. And why did you bring up that I word? Just leave the I word. I'm so behind that I word, man. That brought back memories. I was kind of a little upset leaving today. I'm driving like. We need to stop and get something to eat. Because I thought about it. It pissed me off even more because, like I said, those guns are... Name anybody who got Infinity Arms right now that can go buy it. I mean, just put it in your hands.
I can't.
If Tony on the war can't get one, what the hell did they tell you?
Right.
I mean, this the dude that was the NRA spokesman.
Yeah.
He's a fucking attorney.
Yeah,
he can't get his hands on one. He have to borrow his friends. What do they tell you?
Right. So speaking of Mr. Anwar, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but if you go and look at his VIP page on Facebook, Colin Anwar VIP, and look at his moderator, I'm his moderator.
You tell him. I said I'm tired of him taking base 7 at ATTS doing these damn gun reviews. Quit taking the best damn bait on the day. And then it's like he always there on a Friday when we try to go. It's the pretty day he there. And you see it blocked off. When I see that, I look over there, I see that G-Wagon, I know who it is. I'm like, damn. And next thing you know,
I'll tell him you need to check with Tackleberry before you go out.
Yeah, tell him Tackleberry kind of mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tell him
it's one time. Give him
and I know he stayed like 7 minutes from me. So I ain't mad at him. I see him on the freeway. I see him passing all the time. And that Porsche, tell him that Porsche. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's
all right,
it.
so let's get into this. I'm gonna start with our original part. It's a non-folding part. So it was, simple takedown replacement of the takedown lever, right?
Right. That's
You
what I was
take the
looking at.
factory one out, you put this one in, and it has a little screw that sits in the bottom of that little guide channel. It's over here. So there's a little guide channel, curved guide channel. So what happens is because it's at 55 degrees, your thumb is at 55 degrees, right? So
Right.
when you go to shake somebody's hand, your hand, our bodies protect themselves, right? That's why your hand is curved. It's not straight, right? And so your body is basically in the middle of a power band. So this is at rest. So this is, flexion, full flexion. I mean, full compression, right? And you have full flexion, right? So your hand, you never go to shake somebody's hand with your hand fully extended.
Straight
like
out. Right.
Right. And you never close your hands all the way because you need to either get in or get out. So your thumb is the same way. People that make thumb rests with their thumb straight up in the air, watch your thumb.
That hurts.
You see that?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
You have no power. And if your thumb's too low and your wrist is cricked over, right, on some of the other thumb rests, if you push hard enough, your thumb's coming up. But take your hand and do this, right, and lock that wrist. Like clamp down and lock that wrist and now push on that thumb. And you see it goes nowhere. You have 108 newtons of force ready to go, sitting right there at 55 degrees. So now, when we get on this gun, I hold the gun very loose on the left side. Literally, this is just to hold the gun up, right?
Right.
I'm in the dovetail. So I don't squeeze with these fingers because your first, second, and third digits all are connected to the same tendon in this area. And if you squeeze too hard, then your trigger finger is going to be under a lot of pressure as well. And you'll tend to pull shots. Okay. So keep the left hand loose. And then on the left side, when you come on, you see how it's like a natural grip, right? So I'm just on it. Like I don't even have to think about it. I just get on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So as you go to do that and you go to lock that, clamp down on that left hand and give it everything you got, then your gun, you're now pushing forward on that thumb rest, not realizing you did it. So as the gun tries to rotate, your thumb's in the way.
Thumb's in the way.
And you're thumb locking basically.
Wow.
Wow, that's nice, man.
Right. So that is our version 1 part. It replaces your factory takedown lever. Let me get in my drawer here and see if I can locate a loose one. No, I have a loose one laying around somewhere. Here we go. So this is the part. You just take the factory takedown lever out of your gun, which kind of looks like this part without the thumb rest on it. And it drags right out of your gun. As soon as you take the slide off, you can literally rotate the part to fully open and just drag it out.
Drag it out your gun.
Yep. And put this part in, takes seconds. And that's why, because it's replacing a factory part, it is legal in USPSA.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep, fully legal. So that's our version 1 part.
But see, now
what are all the models of firearms that you have these for?
Okay, so that is for anything P320 related.
Okay.
I got a
all the way up to the XG Scorpions, anything in between, the Legions, the M17, M18s. So yeah, if it has a P320 FCU in it, this part works for that.
I gotta look at. I might have to buy you. That might be my Christmas gift to myself.
Okay.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. You may not know 100%.
Yeah.
I always heard that the P250 and the P320 are the same animal, just one's striker fired, one's hammer fired. So would this work on a P250?
No.
Okay.
Because the way that the gun locks up on the other side is different. So you notice that this angled recession here is pointing upward. On a 250 is facing forward.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the cam is different on the inside. So here's a black part, on the XVTAC. I used to carry this gun.
Wait a minute, you carried it for competition shooting or just to be shooting?
That's my daily carry.
Damn.
And that thing didn't poke you?
No. So I put a folding part on while I was carrying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into that.
I know you didn't just stick that on there.
Right. So a lot of people said, Carl, I love your competition part, but I want to carry that monster because I shoot so well with it and shoot so flat. Like, can you make that fold? And I was like, I can do that. So enter the folding model. And so Okay. So this one, I went back to the drawing board and I worked on it a little bit and came up with a few prototypes. But the benefit of this one is, remember I was talking about those old holsters you got in a drawer?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So
Now check this
it's
out.
an old holster, and here you go.
Wow.
You see that?
Wow.
Right into the holster.
Wow, it really did. Dang.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That boy cold.
Let me see if I can get some light over here. There we go. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, watch this when it comes out. So as it's clearing the holster, the part opens up.
The part.
It folds back.
It folds back. And,
it folds back. Oh my God, that's sweet. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it works just like the version 1 part, same lockup.
It just folds.
And it's got a hinge in here and a torsion spring. So
it flips down. And it's not, look, y'all, I handled this today. It's not flimsy. It's not cheap. It don't feel like you're playing with an AR door. You know what I'm saying? Like the dust cover door on the AR. It don't feel like that, dude. It feels like a sturdy, bug-proof part.
Right.
Now give me a week with it, and I'll let you know if it worked. I will let you know if it's working. Because
I'm gonna have to get that folding one for my P320 now.
Yeah.
I don't need to carry my P320. That might be my new carry.
Now, fast forward into, I've been selling a lot of those since September 27th. That's when it dropped. I'm seeing some questions show up.
HK. He was trying to say H&K USP, but he put K8.
And the answer is no, not yet. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there because I got
He's gonna have a lot. He's gonna be all over the board.
Listen. When I tell you, I might just I'm gonna pull up on you and open that trunk, and you can like, what the fuck? Did he just rob a gun store? No. Let's see if we can put this on this, and just give me the prototype. I'll be back in a week. I'm gonna go to ETTS, but I'll be back, and I'm gonna walk around. And while I'm not at work, I'm gonna let you know if it's bug approved, and then we're gonna work out the Tackleberry bug edition. But go ahead, we'll get there. We'll get there.
So then, people ask me, Carl, what about the left-handed people? And what I know of the industry is about 7 to 14% of people are left-handed, and it's unfortunate, but no one wants to make parts for them because they're just not cost productive. They're cost prohibitive. So, to spool up another part and then make it go to the other side of the gun takes more parts, and that's really frustrating process. So the risk there's too much risk, and a lot of companies just, say, no, we're not going to do it. Not Odin Armory. We decided we're going to go for this. And if I can do it safely and it's ergonomic, it's functional, and it's definitely needed in the market, hell yeah, we're going to go for it. So enter the Sinister, which is a left-handed part, and it has a slide shield to protect you from any errant case failure. So like on any gun, I'm going to just grab a SIG again, another SIG. So right here on the back of that breech face, if you ever had an errant case failure inside the breech and the gases are trying to go out the back, because the case blew up or it cracked or, the back of the case came off, you're going to have 20,000 PSI of gases coming out of all these cracks at the same time. And that is enough to shear your thumb off, So your thumb would be here on the gun. Let me grab it like I was left-handed. So your thumb would be about right here, right? So you don't want 20,000 PSI coming at the inside of your thumb because it'll take and I don't want that for you. So what we did is we created a part with a slide shield on it. And that slide shield is there to protect your thumb in case gases come out, or let's say you blow up your breech, right? You have an overcharged round, from the factory, and you go to blow the gun up. Usually the extractor will come off and try to take off your thumb, right?
Right.
So again, the slide shield is there to protect you. So two safety issues, one functional issue, because again, let me go back to the other SIG. So here, if you had your thumb in here and we all press on the slide a little bit, when we're racing, we don't think, right? So if you happen to grab and dig into there, as that slide is moving, it's going to try to chop off the front of your thumb with the front of the ejection port. So 2 safety issues, 1 functional issue solved by adding 1 slide shield. And of course, this is a folding part, and it goes flat into a holster.
Yeah, that's nice. Do it again. Do it again. It blocked out. And I listen to it. Do that sound cheap?
Nope.
So this has a larger spring in it. It's thicker, but we are going to fill up the whole gap in there with spring. So it's going to have probably 12 turns in it. Yeah. So I'm trying to get the right lighting here, so it's not in your face.
No, we see it because if you get too much the stainless, that chrome, man, it'll blind you. It'll do like it did on that short I made earlier today.
Yeah. So I'm not left-handed, so I hold the gun funny.
I mean, that's for them weird people like Neil Spec J and Lonzo. They left-handed, and
so this is what it looks like when you're holding it.
Sweet.
Right. So we're prototyping that part. I have to find left-handed people to shoot it all the time because there's not just you go to the range any given day, you might find one.
Nah, I know. I know a proficient shooter, Neil Spec J. He one of my gun bros. He one of my buddies. He's good. He's a good shooter. He's left-handed, and Lonzo, but Mil-Spec mainly is one that I recommend to test that for you.
Okay.
Because he's a shooter.
Yeah.
Mil-Spec is a shooter. He's a shooter. And a friend of mine, Jacob, he's left-handed. He weirdo. There's always the weird people with the left hands, you know what I'm saying? Okay, got tricked out.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the video, if I'm not doing anything this weekend, let's get together. And
we can do it
along, and we'll put you on left-handed and right-handed parts out there, and
we can do that.
Okay, so that brings us forward to competition. Some people are using my part in competition. Some people are using a folding part in competition. And they said, Carl, we love your part, but sometimes when we're going to index the gun, we're moving real fast during racing, right? I do it. Our thumb tends to ride the slide, right? And then when you're getting on a thumb rest, 3/4 of your thumb sometimes may end up on the slide and 1/4 on the thumb rest. And they said, we noticed a little bit of slowdown in splits, but it doesn't stop the gun, but we do notice it. Sometimes it goes back into battery slow. And I was like, okay, well, let's fix that. So enter the latest part, which is called the Man of War. And this part has a big old Man of War etching on the bottom, but it has a slide shield on it. And this is the part that TiVo Sports tried to copy, or did copy. Their part.
I was going to say they copied that. They didn't try. They did that.
Yeah. So on any
SIG, they did that.
On any SIG, right there on the corner of the grip, right here. Let me see, right here. To turn that corner, you have to have that kind of shape to round that corner, right? When you do a takedown. Otherwise, it's going to crash into the corner. And their part looked totally different weeks before I released my images, right? And then all of a sudden, they turned around and released theirs. And all of a sudden, theirs has this kind of curved shape on the back. And so it looks like a jellyfish, fin sail. So that's the reason it's called the Man of War.
Wow.
And so it's at 55 degrees, and it's big and chunky. So trying to get my camera right here. So you index it the same way. So yeah, when you get onto it, it's dead on.
It's dead on. It is at that perfect angle.
Right.
It's at that perfect angle.
So that's it. All you do is stack your thumbs, make sure your left thumb is up, and then get on, and then they both sit down together.
So
if you have big old hands, you can get way up top over the gun. If you have little hands, you can get, down here, but I'm in the middle somewhere. So it just has really good surface and length to it. And of course, a big old slide shield. And with this particular slide, this is the the Trinity Valley Piro comp. So this is a compensator and slide together.
Slide together.
$1,650 just for
What?
this. Yeah. So watch
What
this.
did you say? $1,650.
Oh man, look at that, bro.
What he said is he's making Bug look like a chump.
Say, shut up, barbecue. Nobody asked you nothing.
So yeah,
Man.
it separates. So
Okay, I got one question. I have to shoot that.
Yeah.
I have to shoot that.
it's nice.
I got to make sure that it was ripped to $1,600.
And then of course I mated it with the Icarus Precision SOCOM. Yeah. So it's all aluminum grip, and
Boy, nice.
So
and I'm using green holocime.
So I thought you fancied staccatos. I think you a SIG. I think you a SIG fan.
I started with SIG. I am a staccato fan through and through. Trust me.
No, I think you a SIG fanboy on the SIG side, bro.
I love SIG. I just do. Now, what we are working on is I used to have the 365 XL, but the grip was a little too skinny. I hated it, so I sold it. Right. I bought the macro and fell in love, and so
I seen it today.
I know this is my EDC and it's loaded, so I got to unload this real quick. Okay. So now, this is my X macro, which holds 17 rounds. It has a 1.2-inch grip, and it feels really good in the hand. Like it, I have pretty large hands, not as big as Tackleberry's big old monster palms, but I do have pretty large hands. So when I get on this, and I shoot my other guns, I want more purchase on the side of the gun, right? So I am making a compensator that's going to basically jump onto the 1913 rail. Here's my XL with the macro grip on it. So I have two guns, basically identical. One's, got a compensator, the other one doesn't. But I'm going to make a 1913 unit that's going to come up here and come along the side of the gun, and it's going to offer a folding part with a slide shield.
Yeah.
So that is coming. I have yet to develop it, but they're very easy for me to make since, I know the way now. So we're going to make one for the macro as well, because of the 1913 slot they have there. And we're going to add another space under it so you can still stick your light on and stuff, so you don't lose that functionality. So that brings us into what I'm working on right now. Glock. Everyone's calling about Glock.
Right, you know about Glock. He don't like Glocks, y'all. But wait a minute, hold up. How you gonna say you don't like Glock and you pull out this guy?
This all white Glock.
Man, come on.
I hate Glock.
Oh,
so the reason why is because of the grip angle.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it.
I don't point well with a Glock, right? And when you watch people point with just optics, they tend to get their elbows up real high, right? And they start to bring this shoulder to the neck, right? Your chin and shoulder start to come together. So when you're recoiling, the gun goes to move and you're connected to the face. Now you're moving your head along with the gun. Right? Which is bad. Like, it's bad enough to move the gun. You need your head still. But so if you put optics on these, they're fine because now you're indexing lower, right? And you're to the eye. But the 22-degree strike is functional because of the grip angle. Now, Glock figured out that if you increase the strike, just like you see match guns from like Walthers with their big walnut grips, right? Look at their strike angles. They're even deeper.
Right.
Yeah, they have 25 and 30 degrees in some cases. So look at rifles, precision rifles, same thing, right? The closer you can get the bore axis to the top of this point over your arm, the lower it says the lower recoil that you're going to have. And it's true. However, I don't point naturally with a Glock. Right? So
I do.
Yeah. So some people's hands are just different. So we're going to do the same thing on the Glock, but that bump right there, and get this light out of the way. So that bump right here on the front of the Glock has proved to be a problem. So you got to go around the bump, right? So and we're going to chase around it. And in fact, let's show you. So what I'm going to do is present my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm gonna share my screen here.
And we got 2 questions for you. Paradise said, "Can you make it universal?" And then Silverback said, "Do you make it for the 1911 10 millimeter?"
No. Because universal's hard. It may once I make one, it may fit some other guns, but so like the 1913 setup for the SIGs for the 365, it might work on the Hellcats or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1911 10 millimeter, I don't know. I don't own one of those yet, so I have to check fitment and all that stuff.
Well, I can drop one out. I can drop one off and let you play with it. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do is ask.
Yeah, if the takedown pin slide release is the same for 1911, it'll work. So I don't know if you guys seeing my screen yet?
No, not yet. You're not sure. Hold on, I got you. Boom. There we go.
Okay. So I'm gonna open up my Fusion here. Now, can you see that?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so let me maximize my screen here. All right, so basically it's like this. So I'm going around the bump on the front of that.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, that angle.
Yep. So it literally traces around the front of that bump, and here's a slide shield at the top, right? So, and here's how it mounts to the gun.
That's nice.
It is nice.
Whoops, sorry. Yeah, so that's what it looks like from the bottom. Now we are going to add an additional 1913 slot in here, so you can still put your flashlight on and stuff.
Yeah, because I got a TRL 7 on my Glock 19.
Yeah,
that would be the only thing.
He gonna say he hate Glocks, and then he pull out that old pretty Glock. Y'all seen that, man? That is disrespectful.
Yeah, this is so like kind of like a shadow cut through, but that's what the part is like.
Okay.
Now, folding. So let me turn that part on real quick.
Oh, and it come with a folder? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see the mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
So from the back, you can kind of see how it's going to look.
It's going to look. Yeah.
So I got this question for you.
Yep.
So since you're going to take the rail, what would someone do for the light option?
So if you want the light, it's going to have another spot. I'm going to duplicate the rail and add it to the bottom of this, so it'll still have that on there.
Okay.
Now, is it going to fit in the nice little pocket that that your light normally fits in? Probably not, because they make TLR 7s and stuff like that just for Glock.
Just for the Glock, yeah.
So it's not going to fit in there as nice. You may have to set it out just a little bit more or something, but yeah, it'll still be on though. Now, what we are thinking about doing is this is not legal for competition at this time, right?
Right.
Because the USPSA rules state that you cannot have something on your Picatinny rail that, much like a thumb rest, unless it's a flashlight. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make a spot where you can add a slotted battery in here. And it's going to have a tiny little light on the front of this. Therefore, it's now a flashlight with a thumb rest to it.
I got a question for you. H. Silverback Tactical X. He says, so would this be in carbon fiber, steel, or aluminum?
17-4 stainless steel, hardened twice.
Good stuff.
Yep, and it's spring loaded.
Well, it ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be cheap.
Nah, it ain't gonna be good.
You see all the machine times you make all these cuts, and it's a 5-axis machine, so it's a lot of work.
And so these Parasite photography said, would you need a special holster for it?
You can take any Glock holster that you have now, throw my part on, and you see how it's not wider than the gun, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the top, this part is not going to be wider than the gun itself.
And that's why it folds, so it can go straight into the...
And then this part here is the part that you'll have to mold around. So this from the inside, from the very outside of the gun to my part. Let me fold that up real quick. And so you drive the joint. and we'll measure it right here on live. So let's go to 0 degrees. Okay, so it's fully folded. Now, what we're going to do is measure this thing from the inside of the gun to the very outside here. So what I'm going to do is inspect, and I'm going to click this and click this line right here. Okay, so it's 7 millimeters in width.
Wow.
So that's it. All you do is have to make your holder. So you can take a regular holster for your Glock, and you can take it to a gunsmith, or a holster smith. Somebody makes holsters, and they can modify your current holster, or they can make a new one for you. So there's going to be versions of holsters coming out because holster makers love stuff like this.
Yes.
It's brand new, it's innovative, it's revolutionary. So they love this kind of stuff. So what they're going to do is block the gun up. They're going to take a previously blocked blue gun, right? And it has all this extra stuff on it for all the controls on the gun, right? So they, those little slots they put in, for your ejector lever, your mag release lever, and whatever else is on the gun. So they add these kind of rails in here. So they're going to do the same thing with this. They'll just block up this whole area, probably with popsicle sticks, and bring it up to the height of this part right here at 7 millimeters. And then they'll basically tape that onto the gun or glue it onto the gun. And then when they build a holster around it, it now has this channel in it just for this folded thumb rest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been working on the CZ thumb rest as well. I'm still messing with this part, but it's kind of raw right now. I haven't figured out how it's totally going to look, but I am working on that because TiVo pissed me off pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
let
speaking
me
of,
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you go forward. What can you do to them for that? There's nothing that, is it like?
So I can engage in the expensive fight, or I can press on with what I'm doing, right? I can spend a lot of money trying to get them to stop and serve cease and desist letters and take them to court and all that business. Or I can keep going forward and keep making more money, right? So do you want to go backward and spend a lot of money and hope that you get your money back, or do you just want to keep going forward?
Keep forward. Yeah.
Right.
Keep going forward and become more innovative and make the product better than what they'll ever get.
Correct. So knowing what they did, knowing that they're always going to be those people, that's on them. They did that to themselves. So, that's something they got to live with, and that's something that the industry is always going to know about them.
Yep, you're a product hijacker,
right? So,
you won't get my money, and I spend a lot of money, and you won't get none of these greens or blues. None of them. None of them.
So I'm bringing up the Prometheus now since we're in the software. So let's see here.
Don't tell me that was in the background with that yellow in it.
Yeah, that was it, actually.
You know what? Everybody, as an owner of a Lago Alien, it's a Czech gun. It's a CZ. It's a Czech gun. It's a Czech Republic gun. It's okay. I think that's the fastest. I want to say it's the fastest handgun. Factory handgun that you can buy is the fastest handgun. It shoot fast as hell.
Yep. So
but the barrel don't last.
It's some wicked shit, but mine's gonna do some more wickeder shit. So I use the Walther frame because I liked it, right?
Oh man, you can't go wrong
but
with it.
I am going to change the frame to my style. But as you can see, it has a low bore axis in here, right? So imagine where your finger goes on the side of the gun, you're going to be pointing with that same bore axis. Okay. Now, this is the part that's the beauty. So right in here, you don't see the front moving, right? I have two versions of this, and so when this moves backward, with optics on top, I have optics that fit on top of it. Turn that Trigicon on. There you go. So I need to make those two and make them move. But
move together. Yeah, we get it. We get
yeah. So it's got springs. It's got a bunch of proprietary stuff on the inside. But the way it works is I'm gonna remove the front cover. There we go. So just like so basically the way I'm gonna just get into this. So basically the barrel is gonna be inside, right? And it has a V port that goes up into the breech up here. Okay. And so I'm gonna highlight the front sight. Let's see here. The counterbalancer. I'm gonna highlight the counterbalancer. Okay, whoops. And so this one does it internally, right? So as this rear slide moves forward, backward, this moves forward. Damn. And the way it does that is there's a drive bar on the side of this gun, right up in this area, right here. And so let me highlight that thing. Barrel and gas tube. There we go. Click on that instead. Okay. So the way it does it is there's a drive bar on the side of this gun. And one piston over here pushes forward. There's a piston in here, right? So you can see that drive bar moving in the bottom of the gun, right? So that is connected here through here with a piston. And that is what retards the slide timing, much like the car unit does. So as gases come out the side of the breech up here, it's going to push forward on that piston. That piston connected to the drive bar pushes the slide forward until the pressures are safe enough to drop in the barrel. And then only when the case is still pushing and has enough force to drive the slide, it'll overcome the piston pressure up here. And of course, then it moves. And you got a port that's facing upward with another piston, that's inside this section here with a spring, which drives a counterbalancer.
So that basically counterbalanced the whole recoil action.
Right.
So when you got that recoil ripping to the rear, and then you got recoil going to the front, it cancels it off and make it shoot flat.
Correct. This is going to be tungsten up here in this counterbalancer.
You know you're finna piss some people off, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not here to make them happy.
Boy, you're finna piss some people off. It's finna be a lot of these Glock copy clone people. They finna be hot.
Yeah. So, that's Prometheus, in its basic form.
Just please tell me you're going to use Glock mags.
No.
Why not?
I would rather use a 1911 mag or something. Something that's already out there that's very successful. Glock, I don't like plastic mags. I have no good feelings about them. So, it just. Let me find my Prometheus.
Joe Var got a question. He said, "Can you put the optic behind the rear sight?"
I can do that. That's not in. Yeah, this is still prototype. So
this prototype. So look, y'all seen it first on Wicked Wednesday.
Yep.
You see the schematics of a gun that's not even here yet.
Yep, it's patented. We have 9 patents attached to this gun.
So if you try to use it, you're gonna get sued. Now that's when I sue the shit out you. I spin that bag on it. To be honest, I'm so petty. I'm so petty that I will create another form of income just to sue the motherfuckers. I'm petty like that, dude.
Okay.
I'm petty.
So yeah, here's Prometheus. I think it's still loading a little bit. So same thing, but this one moves forward and backward. So
I just want you to remember in the testing phase, just think about me. Because I'm guaranteed. Listen, go look at my videos. If I can't break it, you shouldn't make it. So
inside the front slide here. So this this piston over here is connected to the front slide, right? And we're going to use a pin to get through that. So that's how that'll stay locked up. And then, of course, this is a piston, and it has a kind of U-shaped drive bar that is going to connect to the back. I mean, where the breech face is here, it connects through the body. So let me rotate the gun again. So you can see the drive bar right here. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So as the gun is moving, the drive bar is moving with it.
I gotta subscribe. I think this is my coworker. The Texan said, "The real deal. Will it be reliable in the field?"
Hell yeah, it's gonna be reliable. You don't want to produce a gun. Like, I'm producing this gun literally for military.
Hey, did y'all say it one more time so they'll understand?
For the military.
Thank you. That's all I got to say. This ain't no crackpot. Just because we talk crazy on Week of Wednesday, that don't mean that we don't have innovation. God damn it. Just bask in the ambience.
Yeah, so you can, I think it's going to be able to eat all the grit and dirt and stuff, and that's to be tested,
I got you.
But, yeah, you can see up in the front of the gun, with the slide open. It's going to do something.
I like that Boy X's, the way you have that barrel. I'm going to tell you what you put me in the mind of. This put me in the mind of a semi-automatic Chiappa Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because the way you drop the barrel inside the grip like that is the way that they did the Chiappa Rhino. It flipped the gun upside down and it just blew my brains out. Like, that gun is accurate. Look at it. Like, your barrel is there. Like on your traditional semi-auto, you got that much space, and then you have the barrel on top.
Right. So if you drop the gun, you can damage the crown of the barrel either.
Yeah, your barrel is here.
Right.
Like, instead of here.
Right.
Because this is the regular gun, this is your barrel.
Correct. I'm losing power in my Mac. Okay, there we go. I'm plugged in again. All right. So so you can't damage the crown. The other benefit of this is when you go to push your gun into somebody, during a combat, you can put your gun out of battery and not be able to fire.
Yes, and disable it. Because listen, true story. I had a situation. This was some years ago. The statute of limitations is up now. And the guy pulled the gun on me to rob me, and it was a Glock. But I remember this mechanics. If I can grab the barrel and hold it, he only got one shot.
Right.
But just so happened, in haste, I pushed the barrel back and grabbed it, and that disengaged this trigger. So when it pushed back, the breech was out. It was back, and like you're doing a press check, and it was back, and I grabbed the gun. He was trying to pull the trigger. It was just dead trigger, just dead. He just, and that saved my life. That saved my life. He had a couple of holes in him, but it is what it is.
So I'm going to do tritium on the inside of here, high vis with tritium. And then you see these little relief cuts. Those are, so you can, I'm going to paint the inside of those white so you can really, see those things. So you'll have black, dark black all the way around the edges. And then you'll have white right up on
the tritium inserts.
Yep.
So just say guesstimation. The retail on this is going to be about 56.
No, not that. I won't produce a gun in that kind of territory. I will probably get it down to around probably around 1,800, 2,000. I'm not going to be like Lago Arms.
And to be honest with you, it's not worth it. The barrels don't last.
And it gets too much heat right up in this area. So we've already figured out a problem for the heat as well. And I'm not going to talk about that because
that's proprietary.
You're right.
Because if they'll steal a gas pedal from you, come on.
Right.
Man, these vultures out here, man.
Yeah, so out here. Look how high the relief cut is. I mean, the cut is back in the dovetail. So that means that your hand is going to be real high up on this gun.
I mean, you're going to have a good purchase. You're going to have
right. The web of your palm is going to be, the web of your hand is going to be higher than the barrel.
Man, this is like this crazy. This dog, like you don't blew my listen. First, you blew my mind earlier today. I wasn't expecting that. You know,
Right.
I like all my creative juices, and then here you come with this, and I'm like, wow, brother, like,
Right.
man. Say, I got to ask. I'm gonna have to drop the link to let people what y'all want to ask them. Hold on, let me help you people out right quick, cause y'all got to talk to them, man. Cause I'm over here
Hey,
in
Bug, can you see you can make a bug plate?
Oh yeah, yeah, a bug, a Tackleberry bug, or Bug Nation. Yeah, we can work out something, and I help with production. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into what Tackleberry saw today. He was real tickled about. So,
Oh yeah, I was in love.
Oh yeah, let me back up one. Back to the Glock.
I was in love.
So here's the Shadow Systems, right? This is the DR920P, and that's a compensator on the front. I just got this thing like a week ago, and the reason I bought it is because I needed another Glock for my table. So between these two parts, these two guns on my table, all the Glock guys stop and they always ask me, "Hey, you making a part for that?" I'm like, "Yep, that's why it's on the table." Now, the folding thumb rest for the Glock, I think I'm gonna call it the Gucci.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's naturally gonna fit up on that rail, and it's gonna be up in this area, that where your thumb is. So, you can already see the angle for Glock.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's gonna be the exact angle. It's gonna be natural to you, and it's gonna be folding. It's gonna fold flat up on the gun.
Yeah. But I still ask the question. I beg the question.
Yep.
Why spend all that money on Shadow System?
You know what? I looked at different Glocks. I thought about building one, but more than anything, like this is a Glock 45, but it's just white and it has like a blue pearl to it.
I see it. Who did that for you?
This came I bought it at Gritter Outdoors like this. They have a Shadow Systems just like this, but in white. And it has that kind of bronze barrel. It is fucking hot. But it was $200 more. And I was like, you know what? For a white Cerakote, I was like, no, this is already 1100. So it came with an optic on it, So I was like, I'm gonna just go on and get this and call it a day. But trust me, I've been dreaming about that white one,
But if you need resources to go toward that white should come to the Bugmeister. Just we can talk some offline, We can talk.
People. So the reason I bought the white one is because among a sea of tables, among a sea of guns on my table at gun shows, you're gonna see all black, and you're gonna see.
But that white gonna draw it. That white draw you to the table.
Right. People see it and they see chrome or they see silver on a black gun or red, and of course they got to come see what this is about. And I draw a lot of people to the table just because of the guns I have and the caliber of guns that I have. You go to every gun show, you're going to see the same gun 30 different times at the gun show, and I hate that. Look,
you got 10 tables with the same gun 3 or 4 times on each.
Right.
It drives you crazy.
Right. Show me something that's going to just flip my shit and make me want to come back to the next gun show, or bring friends because you got to see this, and that's what I like. I want to see something different. I want to see innovative and, and that's what I think I think we have for our company. It's new, it's fresh. It's something that hasn't been done before. Yes, there are thumb rests out there, but none of them fold. None of them go in the holster.
No, none of them retractable thumb rest, man.
So let's get into this. What you were excited about today? I showed you the Prodigy version, right?
Yeah.
But this is the staccato.
I hate you.
So this one, folds. And of course, I put an Atlas trigger.
I was going to say, I know that's not the staccato trigger.
Yeah, that's
Atlas. What is the site? Is that a Swamp Fox site?
No, this is the Hollow Sun ACSS Vulcan.
Oh, I thought it was the Kraken. It puts you in the mind of the Kraken.
Yeah, so if I can get in here and show you this, it has a big old circle dot.
Yes, I see it. I see it. Yeah,
250 MOS circle. So if you ever index the gun, you see part of a circle, you automatically know where to go to get the center.
Wow.
It helps you index so fast, and it has a chevron. Now the chevron has windage on it also. So at the apex of the chevron, you set that at 50 yards. Then the bottom of the chevron on the bottom side where it meets the apex, that's 75 yards. And then halfway down the post is, I think, 120 yards or 125.
So basically, it puts you in the mind of the EOTech.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you can windage,
dude.
with your.
I never. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna give a little testimony of dead honesty. I've been like a label whore when it comes to optics. You know what? My go-to optic, I have a 507.
Mm-hmm.
But my go-to optic is the Barris Fast 5.3 and the SRO. I seen the SRO, but only thing I hate about the SRO, if you don't put that steel plate around it, it's too easy to break.
It is. If you drop it, yeah, you can.
If you drop it, you can cancel Christmas is over with.
Right. You can find another optic. But it doesn't matter what you shoot with. I don't care if you shoot with iron sights. I don't care if you shoot sideways with optics built on the side of your gun. If that's what helps you shoot best, shoot with that. No one should be able to tell you how to shoot best. There are recommended ways, but we're all different. Your eyes could be separated just by a little bit more margin than I do. And so when I shoot my optic on this gun, it's not going to work for you 100%. You're going to get close with it. And you may have to, if you own the gun after that, you may have to refine the optic, to fit your eyes and your body shape or however you index the gun. Because you see some people when they hold a gun and they go to index, they're high. And you're like, why are you aiming upward? And honestly, they're looking down the same plane you are. It's just the way their body's built, right?
Right.
But they end up hitting the target, and you're like, there's no way they could have hit with that muzzle pointing up in the air, but they're dead on. And you're thinking, what just happened?
And this crazy. That happened with me. I had just got a PTR 32. I had just got this 7.62 PTR.
Mm-hmm.
And it had an MRO on it. And that was before I knew that the stigmatism play with your sight.
Right.
And so I couldn't hit. The first time I shot the gun, I couldn't hit it for crap because I was aiming low.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got the gun. They hitting still. Then I get the gun. It looked like I've got the gun in the air like this. And then I went to ding, 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 ding. It looked like I was doing this. Like,
yeah.
While everybody else was like this, it looked like I was doing that. And it was just my eyes. Like you said, it's the way you see.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
That is crazy.
So the way you take this out, so let me show you this function. So as you go to lock your slide open, right? All you do is push up on the bottom of it, just like you would any other slide release, right? So you just push it up and it locks, right? So the benefit of this is, how on a 1911 you have to break grip, right? You got to really get up in there to try to get after that little tiny lever, right? Or you have to try to reach for it with this side.
Right, yeah.
Right? And if you don't have big, long thumbs, you ain't getting it. You got to really rotate the gun around and get onto it. So the benefit is because it's this shape, as I go to push down on it, it closes the slide for me.
Yeah.
And so Tackleberry did that today, and he was screaming in the shop.
Yeah, like I went cuckoo for Cocoa Pie. Like, oh, hell no. I couldn't put it down, y'all. It was just...
Yeah.
Whew, man.
When you go to open up the gun, same thing. All you do is basically move it to the witness spot, and I push on the pin on the backside, and I just kind of move it around, and I felt it just open up, and it comes right out.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And it just made take down like that.
Yep. So I'm gonna do this with the Prodigy as well. Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna open up the gun and I'm gonna just push on it, till I feel it kind of pop. You'll feel a point. There it goes. And so it comes out just like that. And so same thing going back in. I'm gonna go to the witness mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it literally just drops in. You know how you have to fight it to get in? You don't on this.
And then what they call it, the little stupid scratch that you get at the back.
Right.
I forgot what they call it, little Dean, when you put that little scratch right back there at the back on top of the handle.
Yeah.
Damn. That is fucking awesome.
Yep. So that's the Springfield Prodigy, my part on it. Yeah. So now you've basically seen all of Odin Armory's offering and what we're working on, and the Prometheus, and so you're getting to see what's coming down the pipe. We have some other projects we're not going to talk about right yet.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool stuff coming down the pipe for us. I don't have patents on those yet, so I got to start locking those up.
I was just going to say, look, when you think of it.
Now where can they find your product at? Where can they find your product at?
My product's on my website. What we have available at this time, there is coming stuff like the Glock part. We estimate will probably be late February when it's ready. Because I'm still, like you see, I'm still working on the design. We're about to start sending out for hard prototypes, so you might start seeing those on my IG showing up in about a month.
And I always remember, if you need a tester,
yes. You're welcome. You say, Carl, hey, I just saw that part. Can we go shoot? Like, go.
Oh, God. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, I'm always down to go shooting, showing parts, and, because the excitement that I see you have, I feed off of that. And that's the whole reason I want to make more and different, better parts, So,
right.
You tell me, hey, Carl, can we reclock this angle about another 20 degrees or something, so it'd be this, and you'd just be more ergonomic and, more torque facing on the front, but it's a really good idea, Tech. Let's do that.
Yeah. I got you.
So I'm here for you, just like you're here for me. And, that's what this is about. We're all in this together.
Right. Exactly.
Now, are you going to come out with colors possibly in the future?
I know you're going to ask me about gold. Or some diamond studded shit, right?
Purple.
That's why I said colors. Are you coming out with colors in the future?
Right. I usually make a part that's stainless steel. It's non-coated. It still has a PVD finish on it, but it's stainless steel color. Now, if people want to sandblast it and go put their own color on it, that's on you. I did do gold, black,
so you can't
gunmetal gray, and silver. On the first production, on the first part, on this hard version 1 part. But
tell them which one sold the best.
Black.
When he told me that, I was like, what? He was like, guess what sold the best? I was like, what?
Black. Always black.
You lying to me.
Overwhelming majority black.
Hey, Odin.
Yes, go ahead.
If sorry to interrupt, but if you don't mind, I got a question for you. Hey, Bud, good to see you again, brother.
Man, what's going on, brother?
Hey, so I was wondering about something. Y'all are way out of my league as far as your knowledge of weapons, but hey man, I've been around them all my life, and I've had some pretty extensive training by some retired Navy SEALs and shooting techniques and stuff like that. And what you were showing there, that weapon counterbalancing the recoil, and then y'all were talking about shooting styles. I've helped some friends of mine, especially Miss Texan, my wife, the dipping the weapon before they pull the trigger. Okay. And what you're showing there is it seems like it's going to be a low recoil, correct?
Yes, it's gonna mitigate recoil. So the goal is to make a 9mm shoot like a 22.
Say again.
Make a 9mm shoot like a 22.
Gotcha. Okay. So, do you have any thing to say about, dipping the weapon. You were talking earlier about shooting styles, whatever makes you shoot better. I mean, I have had issue after issue trying to help people overcome the dipping the weapon, and it's a psychological thing.
I do. So what I do is take any kind of flat top gun. Okay. Dry firing at home is the most crucial thing you can do.
Okay.
Point blank, 100%. So you're going to want to charge up the gun. Okay. And put a bullet on top
of the gun and balance it off.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And have them pull the trigger. Okay. And that thing should not move. This gun is really slick because of the coating. But yeah, if they can bring it up and they can index it and they can pull that trigger and that thing does not move, then take the bullet off, reset, do it again. Okay. And they should be doing that 7,500 times a day. She can be sitting there watching TV, America's Got Talent,
right.
And you can sit there and she can be pointing at the people on TV and pulling the trigger, So working on grip, learning how to work on that beautiful grip that you should have, right? And, getting hand placement, finger placement right, and kind of interlocking, the fingers inside the grooves of the other finger. And just place the part on the top of the gun and let her click. And then, take the bullet off, let her reset and do it again.
Now I've seen something about alternating dummy rounds.
So I do that too. If I see somebody pulling shots at the range, I will take snap caps and I'll load their magazine behind their back and I'll hand them a magazine. So they don't know if that snap cap, if a series of snap, it could be 5, 6, 8 of them in a whole magazine.
Right.
But I also have a dummy gun, a blue gun sitting there.
Right.
Too. So I'll drag that thing out of the bag if I see him pulling shots, and I'll set it on the deck and I'll say, what's coming. And so I'll have a handful of snap caps and I start loading the magazine behind him. And I'll hand him a mag and I said, if you pull a shot when a snap cap is there in that gun, you're going to have to put your gun down and grab that dummy gun and pull 30 shots on the dummy gun. Just sit there and go click, click, click.
Break
click.
that psychological.
Correct. And then you're going to pick up the regular gun and shoot again. If you hit another snap cap, which you won't know is there, it can be on the next one, you're going to do the same thing. Okay. So it starts to be a punishment for pulling shots. And sure enough, they'll do it. They'll go to raise that gun and they'll go bang, bang, bang. And then they'll go, and I'm like, oh, there we go. Blue gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So occasionally I do it too. So I tend to do it when I'm shooting really, really fast. And I haven't 100% broken my anticipation, flinch. Most times I don't do it, but I'm still guilty of it on occasion. And unfortunately, I don't carry my blue gun when I shoot. So I have to come home and practice. And, I wish you could see my room up here, but I have targets, USPSA targets all over my wall up here. And I made them short, I have the short ones. So I sit there and literally point at those. And I also have, what is that called? It's a gas system that goes inside my Legion, and you fill it with CO2, and it makes the slide actuate every time you pull the trigger. So I use that with a laser on the front, and I pull shots, across.
I was going to ask that. Should I invest in the in like the indoor laser target practice for her? Or I don't have the issue, and what I'm trying to do is figure out a way to help her overcome it, which I have not been able to yet.
So what I found out through training others and, being myself, I've been around guns since I was little, but if you watch a person and they get onto the range and they start jumping when everybody else is shooting, psychologically, it's scary for them. They're having a fight or flight moment, right? Because they're jumpy. There are times I'm sitting there loading ammo and somebody shoots a gun next to me and I still jump on occasion. Right. So, as many rounds as I've shot and many ranges I've been on, I'm still surprised that it takes me off guard sometimes, but it does.
Yeah.
But what gets us the most is SPL, sound pressure level. And for people that are shooting, it's usually in a closed bay, right? So you have gas pressure expanding so fast, and it's reflecting off the walls, and it's assaulting your face, basically, right? The sinus cavity.
Yeah.
So they feel the pressure, they see the flash, and in complement with the sound, and then the gun moving at a high rate of speed. That's a lot. That's a lot to process for your brain. And so, of course, your brain protects itself, and it goes into fight or flight. And then, the next thing we start to do is anticipate. So the one thing you can solve is sound levels. So buy inner ears that reduce dBs at least 35 dBs. Then put outers on as well.
I was just going to say that, some Pelotons or some walkers.
Yep. Get some walkers. Yeah, so now you're reducing dBs by 65 or more, and they can still hear you if they're electronic. You still have a conversation. And that goes a long way to helping them stop flinching. You can't do anything about the pressure unless you take them outside, right?
Right.
What I do recommend is moving to powder puff rounds, minor loads. So Blue Bullets, look up bluebullets.com. Buy they're more expensive, than traditional, target loads, but they're loaded lighter, and they don't make as much sound, and the bullets don't move as fast, but they're made for competition.
Okay.
So use those rounds when training.
I'm definitely going to take all that into consideration, man. I like the idea of the bullet and her being able to just sit there on her own in private and just deal with that. Women, I've noticed women react different to men, whenever it comes to stuff like this. And and we can be overbearing sometimes, and that's something I myself have had to work on when I'm helping other people.
Right.
And but when it comes to women, we can definitely be overbearing. But I like that idea where she could sit there and practice herself, man. And I appreciate all the information. Bug, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to jump on here and say, man, great show. Good information. And dude, I've got to go back and watch the whole show, because I just came in like 10, 15 minutes ago when you were doing the diagram of that weapon, and I think it's pretty darn cool, man.
Well, thanks,
man. It's awesome. And
So,
I'm gonna tell you something else about women. Women are really natural shots, because women don't overprocess like us men try to do to be perfect. They just pull the damn trigger, and they normally are good shots. And when it comes to that, like I get snappy, like he said, depend on the caliber. If I'm shooting 10 mil, and see, I have 10 mil, box 10 mil, and then I have my 10 mil, that I load myself. Now those, if somebody else is shooting them, like when you're at the bench loading and and make you, because that boom, but it only happens at an indoor range. It never happens at an outdoor range unless they're shooting a Draco or something next to you, 308. But it's always in the indoor range. And you just made me think about that when you said the pressure hits your sinus cavity, because depending on, some of these people, they don't have good ventilation inside those ranges. And when they're boom and they do this, it just goes. And then you just see the flash.
Right.
It's like a flashbang going off.
Right.
You got the whole thing. So just imagine if there's somebody who really just, they don't want to do this, but they know they need to do this. It's intimidating.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing, okay, she's never been around firearms like I have. I have been all my life. She has not. We've been together for 4 years now, so that's her extent of 4 years. And so anyway, I bought her a 9mm, and it was a subcompact 9mm, and she's a very tiny individual, and that was still too powerful, too big for her. It actually hurt her wrists to shoot it. So then I downsized to a 380, handles that much better, and it's a lot smaller, and it fits her perfect. So you're right on the mark when you're talking about, a weapon that fits you and your stature. So
right.
I mean,
so you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh when I say this to you. I don't mean to cut you off. You're gonna laugh. Sometimes instead of going smaller, go bigger.
Put her in a heavier gun. So here's a good analogy. If you went to go push Tackleberry as hard as you could, like say you took a run and start at him, right? You might move him 2 or 3 feet, give him everything you got, right? But you go to push somebody who's 100 pounds wet, you're going to knock them off their feet and they're going to fly, right? Same thing happens with the acceleration on guns. The lighter the gun is, the faster it accelerates.
Yep, and the harder kick.
But the lighter the load is too. It's a 380 instead of a 9mm. So and oh, I forgot what was Smith and Wesson Easy Slide, whatever it is.
Yeah,
those things are awesome.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
That was another thing was she couldn't. Her hands are so tight. Yeah, she couldn't rack the slide. And that weapon fits her. You know what I'm saying? And her stature, and she can carry it. And she can carry it on her body, on her person, and it's not like she's carrying a baseball bat.
So Staccato just released the new CS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the C2 was the smallest they had before that. The new CS is like real tiny. Now, the thing is I went from the factory spring in the Staccato to an 11-pound yesterday. And the craziest part is like, look at that. Like, it's so smooth, and it's so light. It feels like a toy, like it's almost plastic or something.
Yeah.
And other people felt it today. They were like, what kind of spring you got in there? And I was like, it's just an 11-pound Wolf that I got from Atlas. And they're like, wow. So, like, I bought a whole assortment of springs from Atlas today. I mean, the other day. So, I just played with them, and I definitely recommend getting a spring gauge from because you need to measure your springs, because looking up what springs are what on a color chart sucks. So you can just drop it in the spring gauge and measure it real quick and say it's a 12-pound. Now,
I got you.
Are they all going to fit the commander size? 4.25 inch, 4.6. We don't know. So there are springs I'm clipping. And I don't know if you know how to do that, Texan, but just take your guide rod out and your the little plunger that's in the front.
Oh yeah.
And spring down on the desk. You know, and if it sits all the way to the back of the guide rod, you're okay in length, right?
Yeah.
If there's any coils that are showing at the bottom, it doesn't seat all the way down, then those are the ones you need to clip. So if it's 2 coils short, clip 2 coils.
Got you.
And do it again. And, then you have the right, length. So, definitely try different springs in our gun. So you can take, the only reason the Easy works as it does is because they changed the spring load.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take any other Smith & Wesson and change the spring load and do the same thing.
Wow.
So, okay, I didn't mean to stay on this long, but man, you
stay on long as you want, man. You're good. Go ahead.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So anyway, talking about the springs, I've been curious about this because of that Easy Slide. How durable is that spring? How long will it last before? I mean, will it last like? I don't know. I mean, I know on my Glock, a nice heavy spring on it, which is comfortable for me. It lasts for the life of the gun pretty much. Right. But an Easy Slide like that in a semi-automatic, that seems like that spring would wear out.
I would, as a general rule, especially on lighter springs like that, because they're going to be skinnier, and the spacing is going to be a little bit different. I would probably recommend changing them anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000.
Okay.
Just as a general rule. And she's probably never going to shoot that much in that gun, so you probably will never see that number.
She won't, but that's a good thing for me to keep in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So race guns, it just depends on the caliber and whether I feel like I have funny ejection patterns. So if my ejection patterns change from what they used to be, it's time for a spring replacement.
See, she might not shoot it that much, but I might. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I always tell people, carry the heaviest gun and the longest barrel that you can.
Yeah.
See,
I'm 6'2", and 200 pounds. The 9x19 Glock Gen 4 Model 34 fits me perfect, man. My hands, my waist, when I'm carrying it, I can conceal it. And like I said, she's a small person, so that 380 just fits her style and everything. Right. It just really works for her. So
but guys, I'll tell you what, micro, and the Gen 4 is your micro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're 6'2".
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, guys, man, no, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. Bug, man, it was good to see you again, and thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it.
All righty, man.
All right, guys, I'll see you down the road, man.
All right. See you later.
See you.
And I'm gonna tell you something. This is what I learned. Like when I help people out or I train people, I start off with a 17 and work my way down. And you'll be surprised. More women are more proficient with the 17 than they do with the 19 or the 43 or the bodyguard, or the shield. The shield is the one that they hate the worst because the shield is the smallest, but the recoil on it and the snappiness it's a bucking mule. But they get the 17 to be boom, 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 boom. And I tell them, I say, I'm gonna ask you this. If you got one gun that you probably can load it once, and once it locked back, you can just stick the mag in and drop the slide on the side. That'll be easy. You don't have to rack it back. I said, so if I load this gun for you, would you want 13 rounds or would you want 17? Then I always put the +2, so there's 19, 20.
Mm-hmm.
You want 20, you want 20 attempts to save your life, or you want 13, or you want 6? Because everybody say, go get a revolver. My mom gonna be 70 years old.
Right.
She got Glock 17. I don't want her with no 38 or no 357. I got a gang of revolver. I got a revolver sitting right here.
Yeah.
I keep revolvers, but no, because what if she miss? She up in age now, so what? I need her to go dum, 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 then let it rip. If you let it rip long enough, somebody gonna hear it gonna die now. They gonna die now. One. Let it give them this whole 20. You better hope I ain't stick a 30 in there. Let them have it, mama. Get them up out here. We'll deal with anything else afterwards. But I'm serious though, and people think that I'm gonna go get her a shield or something like that. Man, I always tell people, before you buy a gun, go to the range and rent a gun. They got rentals.
And as friends,
rent a gun with your best friend before you go out and spend $400-500, and now you're stuck with that purchase.
Right, you're married to it.
Well,
yeah, I always bring a lot of guns because I never know what's going to work for most people. The funny story is I'll take all my guns to the range. I'll come out, with 15 guns, all pistols one day, and I'll take my grandkids, 9 years old, 7-year-old, and my wife's niece or nephew, and they might be 11, 12. But they all come to the range with me to learn to shoot, just get more proficient. And, I'm working on their safety and their mechanics and, posture and the whole bit, But I tell them choose a gun. And looking at all the guns on the table, from the smallest to the biggest, they always go with
the Legion.
Yeah, the Legion.
The Legion. I know it's the Legion.
Right. And I'll say, well, why do you choose that gun? And I already know the answer. But they say Grandpa doesn't hurt. These little guns hurt. When we shoot them, it makes our wrists hurt. And we don't like how it comes back at our face, because they got tiny little hands.
Yeah, and they scare the crap out of me.
Yeah. So they said when we shoot the big one, we can't hold it as well. It's moving a lot, because it's so heavy, but it doesn't hurt when we shoot it. It's soft. And I was like, so it just further goes to prove that he's a friend, when you're shooting.
Right.
Weight and barrel length. So when you start adding flashlights on, to help soak up some of that recoil as well.
Oh boy, man, who you telling? What's your fate out of all your pistols?
What's up with it?
What's up, Saint? I know we got a back. You got something in your background.
I got something in my background.
Yeah.
You volume up.
Yeah, you got there's something in your background.
Hey, Bub.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bub.
Yes, sir.
Man, my stomach hurt. I'm about to get up out of here, brother.
All right, man. Say, man, you take care, bro.
See you, Skilly.
I appreciate you coming through.
All right, so
I'm in the kitchen. I'm trying to see what's going on. All right.
That's you echoing. I don't know if you got YouTube playing in the background.
No, I just came right on through. I just came in through the chat. I'm way in the kitchen.
Okay, wait. Okay, no. No, it's not.
Yeah, you might have to mute to talk.
Hold on. Yep. Come back out. Come out and come back in. I'm gonna kick you and come back in. What I was gonna say, out of all your guns, and don't lie and say you don't, because everybody got one. What's your baby?
Probably my staccato. Now, what do I go to first to rip fastest? And like put it down, it's probably my Max Michelle.
Okay.
Now I hate SIG for what they did, and I'm gonna show you.
Still there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you good now.
All right.
So 6 hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
That up and down play. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. You see that?
Yeah. I mean, it was. It's on my tech ops.
That is some 1970s janky shit. 1911 janky shit right there, right? And it
Right.
rattles.
Listen,
but this thing is built to run in messed up environments. I know people that are in the USPSA circuit that have not cleaned their gun in 15,000 rounds.
Damn.
And it's still running. They said we add a little oil to it, just keep running.
And
we'll wait for the failures. But that's a testimony to the way this gun is built. Now, is it accurate? Hell yeah, it's accurate. But when you go to shoot it, watch the gun move up.
Mm-hmm.
Like your dot will change positions when you go to shoot this gun, but it's because of the way it's built inside the FCU, and interacting with the slide. But
that recoil shaking it, huh?
I hate that. When you're dry firing, this thing sucks. Unless you put a mag in it, and then it fixes the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Empty mag. But yeah, so when you ask me what I'll pick up to outshoot anybody at the range, Max Michelle Legion every single time.
Every single time, huh? The Legion.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Legion. You know what my go-to is? Say for instance, if I'm gonna defend the house and I say I'll hell break loose in this total anarchy and no law, I'm gonna get my Glock 17.
Why is that?
Because it got all in little play. It ain't never failed me. That's the only gun. I shot that gun 4,000 rounds without cleaning it.
Mm-hmm.
4 years, no cleaning. Like you said, a little rim oil. Pop, 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 pop. I mean, I had to soak it. It was so built with carbon. It was just nasty. Change the springs in the fire and pin mechanisms. I changed all the springs that need to be changed and did my thing, and it was cool. And I attended. That's some of my gun maintenance. After 5,000, depending on the gun, maybe 2,000 rounds, I'm changing springs.
Right.
I'm changing springs. I'm changing springs on it, and that gas pedal, man. Like I told you today, I got to see. I have those SIG Tech Ops, but they're the original Tech Ops. They don't even make that gun anymore. And I really want to dope it up. And I got dibs on a fire control unit for like $200, so I'm gonna get the fire control unit, and I like that slide.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna get the frames, and I'm gonna go with it. And
they make one for Glock too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go see TrinityNevada.com.
What? I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this backstage. I'm not gonna say this online, but I'm gonna tell you something that blew my mind, and I'm gonna show it to you. And I'm gonna show you. And I wish I had my trigger thing here. I don't have it here. I have it elsewhere.
Okay.
You will be. I'm gonna blow your mind. And it's gonna and a lot of people waste money going by triggers and springs and. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone, but we're gonna have that conversation. But I'll blow your mind. You'll be like, wow, because I have a weapon. Shout out to Texas, man. I appreciate you for that super chat. Bruh. That's why I was so when I saw that, man, you see my energy, like that's not fake. It's clear, like I feel like a kid in the candy store, like a
wait till you shoot it.
Man, dude, boy, I was like, bruh, look, listen, that's why Jeff knew.
Right now, you wait, you put your hand, you put some rounds to it. You're gonna lose it, man. So I watch people at the range. I'm one of those watchers, right? I see people shooting, and they're shooting beach ball size groups, and I'm like, shit, there's a lot going on over there that's wrong, right? And I don't know if they have a handicap or but I would still think even one-handed you should be able to shoot better, right?
I'm good, and I shoot one-handed. Awesome. Listen, I shot Athena 100 yards.
Okay.
One hand. 6-inch target.
Nice.
Bing, bing,
Yeah.
bing. The whole 20. Like, if you own a staccato, go get you some Atlas mags. That's a must. That's all I got to tell you. If you own a 2011, go get you some Atlas mags. Yeah, you're going to pay damn near $200 for the mag. It's worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
It's going to turn your gun something.
I think the farthest gun I done shot was Mika Beretta at 92
Hey,
F.
the Texan said, hold on, I'm sorry, Saint. The Texan said, let's meet up to shoot. Texan, you still watching? You have my phone number. Let me know, dude. Let me know, because I know I just got a letter from work saying I got to come back to work. But I was sick. I ain't gonna fake. I was sick first part of this week. I really been having a headache for the last 2 or 3 days. I'm not finna drive no truck with no headache. I ain't finna jeopardize nobody else's life, and my life needed. It ain't worth it. Shit, if my job won't let me go for that, fuck them. That's why I got other money. So I'll be tripping on this shit. But man,
so I'm at a gun show this weekend.
But listen, you had a gun show until 4 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Saturdays.
Oh yes, sir. Oh, Sunday's 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday.
I'm finna say something. Look, man, it don't matter.
Sunday. We'll meet somewhere. Yeah.
Listen, we can go during the week. Do you understand? We don't have to wait till the weekend. If you got some, like I said, I'm a member at ETTS. I can pull up. You are my guest, $20 instead of $40, and we can go in here and I can pull out that ammo can and we can burn it down.
So ETTS is about an hour and 20 minutes from me. I live in Euless.
I know. I'm in UP. So
yeah, that's a drive, man.
I know. Not really. If you stay on Euless, you go 360 to 287 and come on around. You see? Then think about that.
Hey.
360 to 270 all the way down.
Yeah.
360 all the way down to 270 and come back around. You'll be right there.
This is true.
Yeah.
I do love shooting outside, though. I do love shooting outside.
And listen, Saint the Realist will tell you, this the dude that jumped. He got a video with this. That dude is crazy.
Had a
he
video.
In the air shooting the Glock, and then he jumped on all those shells and projectiles.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
he cut himself up really nasty, but he did it for the shot. I mean, he's dedicated for you too.
I did it for the team. I took one for the team.
What's up?
It's coming back, though. I'm gonna bring it in on this new platform right on the new channel. I'm gonna mix it into one of my gaming videos. It's gonna be fresh.
Yeah.
Hey,
nice.
text me, Texan, and see, man. We talking about this. My man from Odin Armory. Go back and look at the live, bro, and tell the turkeys. Tell Big Fish came through. Tell Fish and Dust to link up with me, because I would like for y'all to meet up with them, because the Tactical Turkeys is making their own pistols.
Yeah, and shout out to Tech Life J.
And it's like the same thing with you. When you innovative and you trying to do things, sometimes if the right little people get together, could do something real big. It's all about the network. It's all about the network. And in Dust and Do Knowledge and Fish, like, I'm gonna link y'all up. We're gonna have a conversation, like, because especially you and Do Knowledge, y'all gonna have a bromance. Because him and Joe Va on here, man, those guys, like, we do all the
my go-to saying is put something with something to get something. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Make something happen.
I'll come up with something too.
Y'all come up with something, because dude, you so innovative. And I understand that people saying that, you know, you got a new facility, but if you have an opportunity on some groundbreaking stuff, and then you got brand new CNC machines, so you can dedicate one machine to make those parts.
I don't own a CNC machine. I wish I did.
Oh, now,
yeah,
I just got a 3D printer.
Yeah,
I'm getting into that thing.
Yeah. So listen to your wives, people. You know, don't. And somebody asked me in a different show, what's the biggest piece of advice you can give to anybody starting a business or whatever? And my biggest piece of advice was, don't let anybody tell you no. Believe in what you got. and pursue your dream, because there's going to be a lot of people telling you the reasons you shouldn't do it, or it's going to be too expensive, or it's too hard, or and those people don't have the same drive that you do.
Right.
So they're not going to understand what you see and what you're feeling and, your passion. So, and they just don't have the same mind you do either. My wife thought I was crazy making a part, for a gun. And there are some things I won't do. Some people ask me, what about Glock? Can you use the trigger pins? And I'm like, hell no.
No, I was just
Hell
going to
no.
say that. Hell no.
Shit, so if you elongate,
that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Like on a Glock, you're married to the frame, right? Because there's serial numbers on the frame.
That's how it is,
So,
yeah.
if you happen to elongate the trigger pin, over time, right? Because your thumb rest is pushing and, it makes that trigger pin wide. And they go to draw that gun one time and the trigger pin's not there. And they go to use it in a defensive situation, you just met a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, if they
you just sued the pants off yourself.
Right. So, yeah. So when you get into the fire control units, anything fire control related, I ain't touching it.
No. But see, that's one of the things about SEED. When they made their FCU, the way they made their FCU, that when it's supported, it's still supported. So when you stick that pin through it, you got two circles that is going through. And if you put your thumb on, you're not doing anything because you got support of two things inside the piece of plastic, inside your shell.
So let me show you something. So in Go Guns parts, and even the SIG original factory parts, people have broken them.
Yeah.
They broke the thumb rest off. I mean, the takedown lever off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it was left in the gun. So then you're on the backside of this thing trying to get
trying to twist it so you can push it out.
Yeah, so it would look like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to
fix something through.
You got to take a screwdriver through this side and try to push the front of the guide rod out, and then grab it with some pliers while holding the gun.
So
you try to use channel locks and pull the gun this way just to turn it to unlock it. And man, I said every word there is probably 15 times before I got.
How many times you curse?
The what?
How many times you curse?
Oh, a lot, dude.
How many consecutive cuss words though? I mean, like repetition, just straight cuss words. I mean, it wasn't no and, if, but, when, where in the middle, just curse.
Listen, when I'm in my office area and I'm here cussing at the top of my voice because I can't get this thing out, and I got a vice sitting in front of me, and I'm going pull it up and trying to push this thing out.
Oh, bro!
Right then, I turned to my CAD and I fixed that problem. And the way I did that is these parts are double hardened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have surface coating on them.
Coating on it, yeah.
So and then it's PVD finished, right? So it's got 3 hardening agents plus a coating, right? Now, look at that side of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
You see that slot?
Yep.
If anybody ever broke my part, which is lifetime warranty, if they ever broke a part, they could also stick a screwdriver in and key it and just turn
it out
and lock
key
it out. Right. That's that part of knowing when you're facing a failure of a competitor's part and you fix their problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
You fix any potential issue of your part by doing something they could have done, Like it took nothing for them to add that slot, but I did it.
So hey, they lost.
Right.
Your game. That's and see, that's what make the aftermarket market shine. Right. It's for you to be innovative, to fix something in a better way that they could have. They trust me, they got research and development team. These people know exactly what all the weak points said. First, what they're gonna do is stick it on you to see if they can pass it off. And if they can pass it off, then okay, we done put out $1 million and only 10,000 or 100,000 had a problem. Shit, they still win if they call a recall on it.
Right.
Kind of like our situation.
Like
it ain't hurt them. They had a fix waiting. They just said we're gonna wait until it just become a problem and then we're gonna fix it.
I welcome people to try to break my part because I really
certain people gas blocks.
So you know those grinding wheels, those grinding discs you put on the circular
On the drum
grinders?
tool.
Yeah, so this one guy, he's a competitive shooter, David
I
Clay.
do.
You'll see him
I
in a lot
take
of my videos.
Mhm.
He wanted to take the texture off of one, and he wanted to add a silicon carbide onto it on one of my original parts. He went to the store because he had to buy 2 more grinding wheels after he burned up this first one. Because the 17.4 hardened twice is so hard that it chewed up his grinding wheel. So to get all that off, that kind of hex texturing on there,
Mhm.
yeah, he had to go through 3 grinding wheels. And
That-
he
did
says,
that make
Carl, I've never seen so much hard. Like he said, I've grinded on barrels, I've grinded on any part of guns, steels. Like he goes, I can grind on the anvil and take it down faster than I can take your texturing off. He goes, what did you use? And I said, it's just 17.4, but it's been seriously hardened. Like, are you familiar with sword making and how it's done?
Yes.
So, you know how they make a part glow? You make the metal glow and then you quench it.
Quench it, yeah.
It's had that process done. And then we take it up to glowing. The ingot itself, before it's even cut, is ran up to glowing and then let it cool 70 degrees per hour until it's cool. And then after the part is cut and CNC mill, then we run it up to glowing again and then let it cool 70 degrees. Then we quench it.
Man.
Then we do a surface coating. Then we do PVD.
So now you don't have to worry about those failures.
It's over.
But with anything, sometimes you know, if it's man-made, there's a probability of something happening. But for the most part, you try your best to circumvent that, so you don't have to worry about that problem.
Right.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And
you know, could I have used a harder steel to begin with? Yes, but is it going to be as thermally resistant as 17.4? No. Is it going to be as corrosion resistant as 17.4? And the answer again is no. So I'd rather use a good steel for my function and make it hard as I need to be, than to use a harder steel and have it fail somewhere else.
Right. That makes sense. And I can say one thing about your product. And you seen, I was really handling it. I was handling the hell out of it because I really want to find. I was like, let me find something weak. I just want to see if it's flimsy. Y'all listen to me. And Saint, man, you know me, bro. So you know how I rock.
You can't break in. You can't break it. Then it's
listen to me. This is listen. I think I have the most. He said pre-stressed Q. He said, is it pre-stressed QPQ?
Oh, I don't know what QPQ is.
Break it down to him, Joe. See, this is the gun. That man else. He's something else. He's very, very. He be on it. Just put it like that. He be on it.
So I can tell you that when we took ingots and we had them cut into slices, and we're looking for air bubbles that were made, that were left there in the manufacturing process. And what we're seeing is when they're cut, we're looking at the slices, right? So you can see all the metals lining up with each other, you know, because it's a mix of metals. 17.4 is. So it has magnesium and some part of cobalt or calcium, I can't remember. But you can see everything lining up, and it's literally going one direction. There's no 2 directions or 3 directions or little air bubbles trapped in there. It's all gone.
And see, that's what people don't realize with metallurgy is when air is metal's worst enemy. And some people, they don't have the metal hot enough. It's all type of shortcuts. And when people take the shortcuts, that's when they make an inferior product.
Right.
And I feel like this. I'm gonna say this. I pay a premium. I don't mind buying an Infinity Arms firearm. I don't mind buying a Nighthawk. I don't mind buying an Atlas. I know what the hell I'm getting for my money. But don't charge me Atlas price and you giving me a damn Prodigy that I got to strip this damn gun down and put other people parts in it to make it even function. And when I got through doing that, I could have just went by the damn staccato.
But you know what? I don't know if you watch another YouTube channel called Skip's Guns.
Nah, I never heard of it.
Okay, so he's kind of a new reviewer. He's got probably 4,000 or 5,000 people by now. But he's up and coming, and he's got a lot of atlases, and I think he has an Infinity by now. But he took a Prodigy and he sent it over to DSG Gunworks, and he got the V8 porting done on it, and then he replaced all the internals.
I was just going to say, I know they did. They went through it.
Mm-hmm. That's a beast now.
But see, that's the point. It's like buying a Corvette with a V6 in it.
Mm-hmm.
When you could just go get a ZL1.
Yes, but there's something to be said. But when you roll up to that car and you don't know what's inside it, and that car smokes the shit up on the street.
Y'all want the sleeper shit. Fuck that. I want you to know I'm in a fucking McLaren. You know what the McLaren gonna do when I pull up in it. It say F1 Ferrari. When you see that F1 on it, you already know one thing. This is Indianapolis 500 type car.
Okay, so let's do this. If I took this gun and I ordered the slide with no markings on it, no nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the blank slide. And I use a different grip, but I use the Prodigy frame and the Prodigy internals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tuned this gun up and I handed it to you. You'd be like, this is a badass custom rig. It has what is this? And I could say it's a Prodigy, and you'd be like, let me get that back. Because you'd have been embarrassed by that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. You can
That's
make
what you like to do. See, you want to play fucking mental jujitsu with people. Man, go on, bro.
But buying something and making it better,
it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good.
Right. Bring it up to its full potential. And, when people shoot it, they're like, I got to get one of these. And I'm like, the factory gun is not going to shoot the same.
Oh,
You're
no.
gonna hate it. You're going to hate it.
That factory gun shoot worse than remember what I told you? Who invented the double stack 1911?
Yeah.
Para ordnance.
Mm-hmm.
The Prodigy is worse than shooting a para ordnance Warhawk, and that's that little 3-inch.
Mm-hmm.
10 shot, but the fat, I mean, it's cumbersome. It's just awful gun to shoot. Right. It's not fun. And shooting the Prodigy, and that's a damn 45, and that's a damn 9. And I'm comparing a 9mm to a 45 because that gun is that don't lie, tell the truth. That gun out the boxes.
It's not great. The 4.25 is better than the 5-inch though.
Yes, the 5-inch is
they rushed that gun, but to their saving graces, the issue is these guns are made in Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
So just like all the XD series is, just like the Hellion from Springfield, the Croatia,
so, they rushed it.
So they should have gone through it and made it better, but they're trying to rush something to get on the market, and I think they missed the mark on it. But
they did.
It doesn't mean that they shouldn't listen going forward, because a lot of people are pissed off and they're having to send it back for rework, and they're polishing breaches and feed ramps and put on new parts
for $1,500.
Right, get all the
that should have been done.
Right. In fact, if they have to order EGW parts and put those in, do that.
Look, I'm gonna say it. Shit, I don't like Springfield anyway.
Yep.
Look.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck.
Right.
A Rock Island double stack, 10mm, is smoother and better than that Prodigy.
I don't know. Since I've been working on it, it's
no. See, stop. come on now.
Not your mastermind.
I mean, we ain't talking about you going up and up putting the damn you putting the Hellcat engine,
giving a new heart.
We ain't even trying you giving it a Hemi. No, we not talking about this. We ain't telling you to go put a demon.
They think it's an RT and got a demon.
He got a demon engine up there. He got supercharger. They look at that. Oh, that's just a V6. No, that's not a V6. Nah, that's not an STX, man. That's a Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is this: factory, straight out the box. Because you know one thing, everybody talk crazy about the Rock Island, but you can take that Rock Island and do the exact same thing that you're doing, and that thing is, ooh, man, I ain't gonna say it's shooting like a staccato, factory staccato, but it's there. It's there. When you put the right parts in there and you get the polishing here and polishing there, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that Prodigy, for the way it came out, that gun should have been $900, 800 MSRP. If it was 800 MSRP, when nobody complained, nobody would have complained. But you trying to charge semi-premium for? Remember what I just said? You putting out an inferior product, but you charging superior pricing.
Now they could have had a prototype that ran beautifully, you know, and it was a tuned machine, but what came out in production was not that. No, that can happen, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, or maybe when they went to mass production, something happened, you know, to the tolerances of all the parts. And
now it's called you skimmed something. You know what it is when it comes to big corporations, and when you owned by a umbrella, and you not know one person. You know,
everybody ideas in it.
They start looking at numbers. And where can I scratch here, scratch there, squish there, squish there, squish there? Okay, we can sub this part because this part is cheaper. No, that part made that gun function the way it should have functioned because this part is not going to make it function. Yeah, they're going to fit, but it's not the same. It's like a 223 and a 556. They look alike, but they're not the same.
Right. They should have done more testing. Yeah. You know, swap parts or go cheaper on MIM parts or whatever. But, you know, I think the backlash they've gotten has they're paying attention. They have to. But going forward, if they were smart, they would release an apology. We're gonna 100% fix all your guns, and you know, we're gonna get them tuned up for you. Like if not, we're giving you money back, and you can keep the gun. You know, something to that caliber. And you know, that would make me have all the confidence in Springfield that they, you know, were willing to do something like that. But it's to be seen.
Man, come on.
My brain bug wants to fix anything that's broken, you know.
Yeah, and you do a damn good job at it. But guess what? Everybody, okay, put it like this here. Me and you have the same mentality. That's why you see me where I was today. Mm-hmm. Because I know I can go in there and turn, like you seen that piece of crap I brought up in there. That was somebody else's. Mm-hmm. But I made a piece of crap functioning. I got off that. I did that, you know what I'm saying? That made me happy. Mm-hmm. I made that didn't work. That was destroyed, but now it's functioning. Right. Now I would like to do more to it, but I'm gonna talk to them about it. Either they're gonna say yes or no. But if not, okay, cool. You got something that's functioning.
I got a challenge for you then. I don't know if you're up to accept this, but I want to see if it can be done. Because I think I want to do it too. And this is going to sound really fucked up and stupid. Are you ready?
Yeah, this sounds like it's going to be awesome.
I like this already.
Yes.
We need to buy high points and make them basically race guns.
By who?
A high point.
Why I need to buy one I got two? What you mean? I got one in my old school right now, 45.
Really?
Hell yeah.
So I want us to buy high points and tune them up, right? Make new parts, whatever, and see if we can bring up the race gun speed.
What caliber?
I would say 9.
Because the 9mm shot, they don't make the long 9mm no more.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
Nah, they don't make the full size 9mm no more. There was the old school JS model. They stopped making the big full size. They only make that C9, the compact, for the 9mm. But the 40 and the 45. Now, me personally, I prefer the 45. That 45, yeah. Say, damn, boy, you just. But
if this little experiment,
see, you can do anything you want to the gun, right? But it still has to maintain the original frame and the original slide and the original internals. So that means if you want to polish the parts, you want to reclock some angles, you know, you want to cut the slide, you want to, you know, polish the rails, anything.
I'm gonna throw 2 more in there later.
You done did this to me on live, bro. Now you can't do this to me on God.
It's a good challenge, isn't it? Now
After y'all do that, I'm gonna throw in.
Like, hold on.
After y'all do that, I'm gonna throw in 2 more. Cause I'm gonna throw in 2 more that just popped in my mind when you said that.
What
I wanted the dagger and the Taurus G3.
Oh shit.
The dagger is a Glock. That's easy. That's easy. Now the Taurus G3?
Yeah, the Taurus G3. Yeah. So I really want y'all to do the Taurus G3 because
so this is a problem for me. I want to hate Taurus. I really do.
Everybody do.
You can't.
The gun works.
It does.
I've never had one fail. I've never seen one fail at the gun range. I've never seen, you know, stovepipes happen. They just run. And
filthy, not clean.
Right. Because they don't know. You think about who buys Taurus. The people that buy Tauruses are budget-minded people.
Yeah, I bought it to piss people off because it worked.
And they come to my table, hey, you make a folding thumb rest for the Taurus? It takes everything I have not to cuss some people out. My $180 part, $180 part, and put it on a damn Taurus, which you only pay, you know, $299 for.
It don't matter.
You're right. But if I made the part, they wouldn't buy it because that's too expensive. I make this part for, you know. But that's so. I know it's coming because I've been dealing with this for a long time now.
So, Carl, now that we're back to your part, one, I think you just answered one of my questions because I was going to ask price point on these. You know, what are you retailing for?
The original part still retails for $134.99.
Okay,
that's the original hard part. The folding part is $159.99. And the Man of War part, you know, the big chunky thumb rest, is $169.99. And a lot of people are going to ask me, and I've heard this a lot, well, that's too expensive. Well, are the people you're buying from using 5-axis CNC? Or are they hardening 3 times and PVD coating? And the answer is probably going to be no. You know, it's bulletproof with a lifetime warranty with mine? And the answer again is probably going to be no. So, you know, is my part worth it? Yes, because you're going to buy once
and cry once.
And if you break it, I got you. 100%.
So there's my second thing is there's a market that I'm not really sure how you advertise to it because it's not like a giant market or anything. It's definitely a market that I could. I guess get you in. Mainly, like I'm gonna have to go buy your product and just put it on my channel. And when I say this, you'll be like, "What the fuck?" And that is blind shooters. Because for some reason tonight there's been
Okay.
And say, I thought you said you're blind. I didn't catch you saying that. But yeah, normally there's a couple jokes made each night about barbecue being blind. I'm a blind shooter, and so for me, I have a very small amount of vision left. Now there are some shooters that are lights out, and you know, they just shoot off a sound. You know, it's really cool shit. Now for me, being that I still have a very small amount of vision, I index shoot. I cannot pick up a front sight. So everything's done in index shooting. So seeing this product, I'm like, man, being able to keep that muzzle down once I'm pointing the gun, that is a game changer, because I'm not having to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction each time. If I've got that muzzle staying, pretty much spot on, I'm driving towards that target, I'm pointing at the same spot each time. That is going to be a huge peace of mind.
So that's a very good point you're bringing up, because I was at the gun range tonight. I had a meeting today with one of my suppliers. They were coming through town, meeting with different people around the country, but they said, "Hey, we're coming to Dallas. Can we sit down for dinner?" I was like, "Sure, let's do that." So, we had a good 2.5 hour dinner and talked about issues and what they could do to keep my business, and because I told them I had 3 other manufacturers that I'm working with, and so they really wanted to know what my issues were, and I said it really comes down to price. You're here in Texas, but you have competitors, in other states that are cheaper than you. And, it comes down to quality, and I get all my prototypes through them because they're the cheapest for my prototypes. So at the tune of about 175 to 225 a part. So it's still pretty pricey, but other competitors charge, 350, 500, So I was talking with them, and I was like, she said, "You shoot a lot of guns," and I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I've never shot a gun before," and I was like, "Let's go shoot." She goes, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we met up at Texas Gun Experience. I just came home, grabbed my guns, took off again, and so I literally showed her how to shoot, and she got onto the range, and she was real jumpy, so we talked a little bit, and I put her on a thumb rest and showed her what to do. Bullseye. And then I was like, "Okay, well, you did really good. So let me load 2 more rounds in your magazine." So I put them in, charged the gun for her, and pick it up, and she shoots the second shot through the first hole.
Damn.
10 yards. And I'm thinking, "Are you sure you haven't shot before? You messing with me?" And she goes, "No, I haven't shot." And she's still jumping, because the other gun's going off around her. And so she shoots again, and she's about 3/4 of an inch off that. And I'm like, "This is, what?" So I loaded up a whole mag, right? And handed it to her, and she starts shooting, and then her group starts spreading out a little bit. But it comes to the point that she goes, I handed her the Glock. I handed her this Glock specifically. And I had her shoot with that, and her group really opened up to about the size of a basketball. And so she goes, "It's your thumb rest." She goes, "Your thumb rest made me go right back to the point that I started." And I was like, "That's exactly what I wanted to hear from you." So she says, I said, "What did you see when you were shooting it?" And she says that the gun, the dot came up, and then it settled right exactly where she was pointing before she broke the shot. So to answer your question, barbecue, yeah, that's what the part is supposed to do. It's gonna lower your airflow. At the same time, it's gonna help you index the same spot you were at.
Exactly, and that, like I said, for blind shooters, because especially over the last year or so, talking to different manufacturers, things like that, just with problems that I've had with a firearm or something like that, it's amazing. I don't want to say the ignorance, because on one hand, I'm like, you got to be kidding me that you've never considered that you could have a blind person shooting, because at the end of the day, the Second Amendment doesn't say, hey, you have the right to keep and bear arms unless you can't see, or some shit like that. At the end of the day, I still got to defend myself, and I make the argument that if I'm walking out there with that cane, I'm at a higher risk. Like one of the most recent ones was Smith and Wesson, and I told the ladies, like, shit, I've gotten 4 or 5 blind shooters into firearms of your folks this year alone. I was like, and it's not like I'm Smith & Wesson fanboy pushing for their products or anything. Actually, if anything, I'm probably a Ruger fanboy. But
I'm a fanboy.
but I told him, I was like, I ask them what they're looking for, things like that, what they need. I give them different makes and models and suggestions and stuff like that. I was like, and 9 times out of 10, they're going with a Smith. Whether it be like one guy was more towards a revolver, went with a 4.42. Another guy got an EZ. Another guy got M&P 2.0. I was like, but these are all blind shooters. I was like, and for you guys to be questioning what I'm telling you because I'm blind, I was like, that's just insane to me. Right. But like I said, so like I could see this being a big game changer because for shooters that cannot pick up the front sight, the only thing you're doing is index shooting, point and shoot. And that's one thing I tell people is like, hey, theoretically, take your finger and point it at something. Okay, now if you took that finger and you just had it, running along the frame of the gun, at a 10, 15 yards, you got a pretty good chance of hitting what you're pointing at. But when you got a big muzzle flip, because I like shooting 10 millimeter, 44 mag, things like that. So I've got some muzzle flip to deal with. So having a product like this that's gonna help drive the nose of that gun down and keep it where I'm pointing in the first place, that, like I said, game changer. And like I said, 4 or 5 people that are blind shooters that have contacted me over the last year, that I know that when they catch wind of this on my channel, they're gonna be hopefully well, shit, I don't know, because like I said, 1 or 2 of them went with the revolver, so that's gonna be a hard one. But yeah, like I said, for people that can't pick up that front sight and have to index shoot, this is an amazing product.
Well, thank you. I haven't had anybody try this part yet. What guns? You said you run a Ruger right now?
Oh no, I primarily I just run 1911s as my EDC. Okay. Now, like, I've got the M&P 2.0 10 millimeter, which actually I need to send that back to Smith & Wesson. But yeah, primarily 1911s are my EDC.
Okay. Well,
but I'm gonna have to.
My brain is like running circles.
Right. I was just gonna say, you crank the motor up in his brain in the hyperdrive.
Yeah, I got to thinking. I started thinking about Daredevil, echolocation, bats, how any kind of mammal that uses echolocation, how it works. Specifically, I watched a story about this kid who was riding a bicycle and he learned to do a series of clicks, and he started echolocating. And in front of him, he was able to ride his bike down the street without hitting anything. He could turn around and come back, making these series of clicks. So I got thinking, what if your gun, you pointed it at something, and instead of this being a flashlight, it was something that was telling you whether something was hard or whether it was soft. So when it was soft, let's say it howls, the gun howls a little bit. It goes, so you automatically know that's a soft target right there, whatever you're pointing at, right? Yep. And if it's hard, let's say it was metallic, it made a ting, and then if it was like wood, it made a knock, So then at the range, because you can't see, right? You go to index your gun, and when you hear the ting, then you already know that's metal. You're either on the post or you're on the disc itself or something. And you go to draw a gun at somebody in your house, and you hear, a howl, coming out of your what looks like a flashlight on your gun, then you know that's a soft target. That's what you shoot at.
So,
You know what?
okay.
This technology might be available. It's just to put it in.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be applied.
I'm listening. I'm thinking like, hold up. I think
I
this
was thinking that.
technology is available, but can you put it
Yeah,
small
Yeah, so
size,
it can be done.
micro it, and hold on, man.
So
Shit.
my buddy Patriot in the Dark, he is lights out, no light sensitivity, nothing. What he does when he goes to the range, he gets the clickers for cars, the beep beep, and they get them put down range, and then he identifies where the sound is and shoots at the sound. And he's actually pretty accurate that way. He says the biggest pain in the ass is when he actually shoots the clicker, he has to go get a new one.
Mhm. So
Man,
with something
this
like
is
that going on,
crazy.
y'all basically learning to well, let me see. I think starting off, you'll get used to your recoil sensitivity. You'll get that under wraps first. You'll learn what what gun you're running. Like you say, revolver, striker fire, or whatever you use for your EDC, you're gonna learn that recoil pattern. I'm guessing
Yeah.
So
if
what we
you
can do,
working off.
to be more sensitive to what barbecue is doing, is go to the range, draw your gun out of your holster, and try to hit that target, and with the same grouping. And now you, with your eyes closed, and you'll understand what he's going through. Because I guarantee you,
and see, look,
my target's gonna look real scary if my eyes are closed.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Do you know I practice that to this day now because I shoot real fast, and I be having to slow myself down.
Yeah.
And when I slow down, I can shoot damn good, but when I'm shooting fast, I don't shoot real shit. But what I do is I try to sight shot, like like the state troopers. I had a friend of mine. He's a DPS agent, DPS trooper, and they draw from the hip. They shoot from the hip. That's in their training to draw from the hip. And so I be trying to point shoot. Like I want to shoot what I'm looking at.
Right.
And I started off being a foot away, and now I'm inches.
Right.
I'm inches. But then what you just said, that'll give it a whole new aspect. I'm gonna waste a lot of bullets, but that's gonna let me know something. But I'm gonna get a paper target to see because I want to see the spread, the grouping. And Texas Gun Experience would be the perfect place. The VIP range would be the perfect place to try that.
Yeah.
That'd be the perfect.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes in the perfect setting.
And yeah, literally try to, because you know where the target is if you're squared up on it. But try to imagine where the head is, and because if you raise the gun to your eye so many thousands of times like you've already done, you already know what you're facing and what you're looking at, right?
Muscle memory.
But can you be accurate enough time and time again, to be able to do that?
Damn.
And what I can tell you is, with a man-sized silhouette target at 15 yards, I normally have 9 out of 10 shots on it.
That's evil. That is evil.
That's for real. Like, yeah, you a man.
But
killer.
that's only with my 1911s. If I switch platforms, things like that, shit gets a little hairier.
That's
But with my
what I'm saying.
1911s, but now I've got to go out and get me a P320. Yeah, and I've wanted a P320 for a while. I'm not real big on striker fire guns in the first place, and I'm not real big on polymer. But now they made the X5, which is an aluminum frame for the P320, which I'm like, all right, that I could get behind. But I still one of those things where I'm like, striker fired. Now this gives me an excuse where I'm like, all right, I got to go get one so I can try this product because, like I said, it could be a very big game changer.
Barbecue, you're gonna hate the sponginess of that trigger. You're gonna hate
I'm guaranteed. I say that's half the reason I hate striker fireds is that right there is the triggers.
But on the other hand, when you start shooting fast, you won't even notice it.
Yeah.
Like it'll just be there, Is it smooth as 1911's tuned?
No.
Not even close. But
no.
I think parts are coming. They're getting a lot better. They have new triggers out that are adjustable and they break a lot cleaner. They're starting to break like Canics and stuff. So I don't know if you've shot Canic triggers, but
No.
some of those are the best in the industry.
I was just going to say that because they mimic the Walther PDP trigger. They got it down. I mean, they got it down. You ain't paying the Walther money, but you're getting the damn Walther shooting experience.
Yeah,
man.
So
and you know what? 1911s for handguns is the best trigger, and the only trigger in the gun that come close to a 1911 will be a bolt action precision rifle if you shooting a Christian Brothers or Christian Arms or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Christian Armor or something like that. If you're not Remington, old Remington 700 with a good trigger in it, you know.
So I want to take a second to talk to you about something else I've been working on too. We just filed 14 patents, and that's what consumes all this company's money. It's patents. But so when you watch race cars or you play video games, and well, I'm gonna back up a little bit. So when you watch race cars, you watch certain sports, there's telemetry, right? You know what the engine temperature is doing. You know what the car is doing, how many G-forces, the wear patterns on the tires, pressure, temperatures, like everything is available for the car, right? And so imagine that being brought into competitive shooting sports.
Ooh.
That's what we've been working on. Now, the way we're doing this is you're going to wear a pack on your back, a tiny little box. That is your master telemetry unit, okay? That's going to interface with your glasses, which have IR lasers in them. That's also going to interface with your gun, which is going to have IR lasers built into your optic. Or if you're shooting standard pistol optics, it'll fit on the side of your gun. Now, the thing is when your holster is also into this business as well. So your holster has a timer on it, a shot timer, and an inclinometer built into it as well. So what happens is when you Bluetooth with your holster, now you're downloading all the data from your match, and you can see this real time. And so when you go to draw your firearm, right? We're standing our hands over shoulder, right? Shooter, do you know your course of fire? Yes, we do. Are you ready? Yes, we are. So as he goes to push the beep button, your holster is already listening because it's in listening mode. So as soon as it goes beep on his timer, it's starting your timer. Now, when you go to draw your gun, did you move your body? Did you twist your hips? Did you lean to get into your gun, right? And how much pressure did you bounce? How much pressure did you apply to the gun when you went to go grab it? How far did that gun move down in your holster, right? So now you can see all this stuff in real time and slow it down and see how much movement there was or if there was a twist of the body, right? And you can work on stopping these issues because now you know what they are and you can see them real time. So as you go to draw your gun, how fast did you draw out a holster? And the way it does it is there's an optic sensor on the bottom, the optic sensor in the middle, and an optic sensor at the top. So in culmination with the start timer, you now have a par time for how fast your gun came out of the holster. Now, in the field out there, like Barbecue was talking about, there's going to be optic sensors out there next to the targets and in between the targets, right? So they send on little tripods. So what happens is when you go to draw your gun, and let's say you're looking at the target, we can see as an announcer or the telemetry guys, they can see exactly what target you were looking at first. And they see how fast your gun came out of the holster, and they can see where your gun was pointed. So if there's ever a question about did you 180 cross the 180 line, go back and do the replay on the telemetry. And if it says 178 degrees, you were clear. Right? So now when the gun is coming up, you're looking at this person's glasses looking at the target, right? And you can see the straight laser beams looking at that target. Now his gun comes up to the target and he starts pulling shots. the holster is registering shots, and it's also the box behind you is registering all this laser telemetry that's on you. So when his eyes shift, as he broke his second shot on that target, and his eyes shift to the next target, now you're seeing basically laser beams coming out of his eyes and looking at the next one. And so as he's doing that, and he starts swinging his gun around, did he dip the gun, or did he go straight, or did he go high, or did his gun twist, as he's moving over? And then he starts breaking shots on that one. How much muzzle rise did his gun have? Because remember, you got lasers mounted on your gun.
Mm-hmm.
So you can now see the angle of his gun muzzle rise. And so watch a whole match like that and break it down and do all the super slow-mos. Then put yourself behind somebody like Christian Saylor or Max Michel, which is a ghost run. So you basically put your telemetry into the software, put up Max, choose Max out of that software, and watch him run the same match. And your person is right behind him in ghost mode. So you can see how fast he is versus you.
Right. And look what Pyro said. That will help eliminate human error and help with better techniques.
Right. So if you want to be like them, you need to do exactly what
they do. Right.
I'm listening to him go, and he got me excited when he mentioned the gaming thing, because see, that's technology you speaking of is done elsewhere. I don't see it in the gun industry. I don't see it in.
I was just going to say that it's already available. It's here.
Yeah. I see it on Horizon. I see it on Forza Horizon, Cyberpunk. You got a lot of these video games. You even got Call of Duty, who just pushed their AI technology, is learning people, is learning just everything. So that what you speaking on, that's gonna be a great product, and it's saying like it's gonna have a real strong AI presence at some point.
Right. And so when you watch professional shooting sports, let's say you want to bring this to ESPN, right? Or X Games. Now you have all this wonderful telemetry to work with, and they can say, so look at the run between, Saylor and Michelle and whoever else, right? The top three guys. Look at how fast he transitions his eyes to the next target. And, he just finished breaking the shot on his second, on the first target, right? And he's swinging his gun around. There's like, he's on the same plane with his eyes as his gun is. Like, his gun does not dip. He doesn't, bring the gun down. He doesn't drop back in to move. He literally leaves his gun out and just swings to that motion. And so saving fractions of a second add up to big time, in the end. So that's another thing Odin Armor's been, kind of messing around with in the background. So filing all the patents and, drawing everything I want done up has been the hard part, and explaining it in detail. But yeah, we've been very busy.
Man. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, though. Like when I met you today, I knew. I don't know. You can feel the greatness. Like I'm dead serious. You seen how I started. Like I'm still happy like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Like when I seen the product, I was like, man, hold up, man. We got to talk about this tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, hold up. I put in the thing today. Hey, man, Freestyle Chat. I don't know. We didn't have nothing to talk about. We were just going to let let everybody in the chat, everybody talk about, what's in the chat or whatever. But, man, I had to. When I saw that product, I was like, bro, I know people that watch me, Jay the Shooter. I know the Turkeys. I know people that watch my program. I'm just like, man, I just need, if y'all don't know about this, you need to hear about this, like it's greatness, man. Like I know, I know it's greatness to be, what I'm saying? Like, the ground. It's just got to get off the ground. And how you get off the ground? You get off the ground by
1 foot at a time.
Then word of mouth, though. Word of mouth, listen, y'all. Word of mouth sells. Word of mouth sell more than anything. I'm talking about marketing, commercials, nothing but word of mouth. Word of mouth to this day, in this digital era, word of mouth sell more products than any ad campaign or anything. Because when we talk to people, I talk to people all over, like Bug Nation. We everywhere, like literally, we Tennessee, Alaska, California, New York, we everywhere. And when we talk, Virginia, we get on the phone and we talk and we be FaceTiming like, man, you heard about this product? Man, I tried it. When you tried it was a piece of shit to me. You tried, you know what I'm saying? Then you, man, it's a piece of shit. When we're gonna let somebody else try it. 3 people in 3 different locations saying it's a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit.
It's a piece of shit.
You know, right?
And 9 times out of 10, if my hands get on, listen. I broke my PTR. I brought my PTR from DFW Shooting Sports, so I took it up to the Texas Gun Experience. They fixed it, and like, damn, the gun ain't even old. The gun wasn't even a month old. Then I broke my Scorpion, and I mean, I was breaking all these guns. Then I broke the 300 Blackout, and I'm like, damn, But guess what? When I broke 300 Blackout, Fives Tech reinforced everything. I showed them what some flaws was to make them find the inferior parts of their products, and they fixed it. So cool. Like, man, when I'm telling you, didn't see me, I was like, bitch, you gonna break. Just break. I want this piece of shit.
You were literally finger fucking my gun for a little bit.
Yeah, I was finger fucking the hell out of it. I treated it like a prostitute and didn't pay it. You know what I mean? I was like, shit. Yeah, I was like, hold up. Man, I'm finna tell everybody about this, because then I seen, I was like, this is a damn good product. It's sturdy, and then it's a good product, and it's something that I look for. And like I explained to you, you can't have that product. You can't have that product on a gun and try to tote it, especially my fat ass. You know what I'm saying? When I was a little slimmer, yeah. But I started getting new rolls I ain't know nothing about the other day. And I seen fuck this. You heard what I just told you today. I'm gonna go and go get the micro tomorrow, because I'm gonna put my 17 up. Like, fuck that. Why do I need to tote this big heavy gun that I can go get this little thing that shoot 18 times?
Right.
Like that. I'm going to get this macro. Like, yeah, bro. So
yeah, so if any of the viewers out there have never shot a race gun, go try one. Rent one, something. Ask, beg, borrow, steal. I don't care. Go shoot a race gun.
Man, listen, I got
change your life.
Parrot. I got Checkmate. When Checkmate is Parrot, but I got a regular Checkmate.
Right.
I got Shadow. I got custom 1911s hand built. Like, I have a bowling pin race gun. Like, I got race gun. Atlas, that's a race gun, bro. Like, you know, Athena, Aramis, those are race guns.
Those are
Alien is a race gun.
Right.
That Alien is fast as hell. That thing is fast. But it got its drawback. You get too hot.
Right.
When you get too hot, still, hey, heat is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? And certainly, he's not your friend. So, like, bruh, you shoot a race gun, and especially if you shoot an open class race gun that got pedals and got, you know, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how long I've been shooting race guns. See, my first race gun was an Ed Brown. It was an Ed Brown tuned up with the Seymour on top of the drill through the frame on a Series 70. Nasty. Bum, 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 bum. You know that, you know, Seymour sight was the first red dot you can put on. You know what I'm saying? So, bruh, they had a gas pedal on the side of it. That was the first time I ever shot a gun with the gas pedal. I kind of looked at the gun and said, what the hell is that? He was like, just shoot it. And I'm out.
Stayed flat.
I was like, whoa. I'm not, you know, that's when I used to make this old saying. I'm not busting, I'm shooting now. Because busting is just.
Right.
But and man, I kept shooting that gun. Before you know it, I shot that gun for 2 months. And I just went on and bought it from him. I was like, man, I gotta have this. He was like, I was building a new one anyway to fund my next build. But now he got the new one, and the new one still don't shoot as good as that old one. He, Bug, you want to sell my gun back? I said, bro, if I ever get on hard times, you got first deals. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but like you said, once you shoot a race gun, when you shoot a fine-tuned race gun, you got the right ammo, you got the right trajectory, you got everything in place. You know what I'm saying? Because for a race gun, everything has to be in place.
You can feel it. You can literally feel that this gun is about to run good. And when it does, it just affirms that you need this. You need this in your life. Like, So we had this question the other day in another session like this. What do you think about carrying your race gun as an EDC? Because why would you not carry the gun which you shoot the fastest, the most accurate, and the best with?
I got 3 reasons, and I'm going to tell you why.
Wait.
1, holster. Because if you got a race gun, if you shooting major, minor, or if you shooting open, depending on what class you're shooting, you can't conceal it.
Fixed. Next one.
Dang.
Damn, that was fast. Shit, I want to rip it. Okay. Holster.
That's the quickest I've ever seen someone get denied.
Damn, that sucked.
Mhm.
2 is if I have to use it, getting complicated. And then the 3rd one is overzealous ass police that's mad because you got something he don't got and he put the crack in your car and then he took your gun.
Yeah.
How long is that gun to length? There's a lot of long ass race guns out there.
No, they got short ones too now, buddy boy. They making race guns at 4 inches now.
So let's say realistically it's 5-inch, right?
That's
Okay.
normal.
Anywhere 4.6 to 5. So you'll say you pick up, I don't know, your Glock, your factory Glock. You do okay with it at the range, right? Or you do okay, let's say you take it onto a competition range and you do okay with it. But anytime you pick up your race gun, you're blazing rounds. Like, you're twice as fast, you're twice as accurate. Like, why would you not want that gun in self-defense? That is your go-to shit. Like, when every bullet matters and speed matters, because it's all about volume and accuracy. That's all shooting is, right? Volume and accuracy, especially in competition sports. So, wouldn't you want that in your EDC regimen?
Yeah, I love it. In a 9, I love it. But I'm like, I got certain guns I love in other calibers that it just draw me. Like, say for instance, like 40. 40, I love my 40 in Glock. I love my 45, SIG or Glock. It's like a preference thing. So you kind of get hooked on your calibers, and you know what go-to gun you're gonna grab for that caliber.
Right.
So that's my only spin on it. But other than that, who doesn't love a 9? So I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't love 9.
For those two.
I don't either. Because I was
Y'all
gonna say,
don't?
you know what I love?
No. I feel like if you're shooting 9, you probably came out of the closet.
Glock 19. Glock 19 must hit everybody with a massive orgy or something. So it works for everybody. Everybody done got turned out then. So
hey, now's the new macro. Now's is 365. The 365 done turned everybody into little grabbing little sisters now.
I'm a 45 guy. I'm a 45 ACP.
I think the big fight this year, challenge-wise for guns, is going to be the 365 macro and the staccato CS.
Yep.
I think that's going to be the literal, like, head-to-head. Like, those are going to be the guns of the year, and that's where the fight's going to be.
Who do you think going to win, though?
I think SIG. Because of the price point, the parts availability, magazine availability. I think they're going to beat Staccato around the corner on a lot of shit. But as far as shootability and recoil reduction, like all around best carry, I think it's going to go to Staccato. Because when you can put a spring in it and literally make it do this, with one finger.
Yeah, and the little dumb air rack that everybody do.
Yeah, like you can't do that with that 365.
No, you can't.
And it's not going to be a big favorite of women because you can't get the right springs for it. So I think for consumer base affordability, I think the 365 is going to take it, the macro. But as far as upper end shooters, like cops, people that are really dead serious about their self protection, but they're elitists and already shoot, or willing to drop dime, staccato, I think CS is going to take that. So it's going to be a hard. And as far as numbers go, raw numbers, I think SIG's going to take them.
Yeah, because you know what it all boiled down to? Price. Price. That's why the G2 and the G3 and the G4 and the Toro, that's why they're damn near the #1 handgun sold out the year. Price. And they work.
Quality, yeah, price and quality.
And it's quality. And I have a Millennium 9 24/7. I just got back from the police department, been locked up for a few years, over a decade. That gun, the 24/7 got sued because it still would shoot when the safety was initiated. It still would shoot, but I found out if you didn't put your finger on the trigger and then put the safety up, it wouldn't fire. If you just put the safety up without putting your finger on the trigger and not half squeeze it, then because Taurus got sued for that. But that gun runs. I've had people who have guns that I seen that gun 2 years ago, and now they just put WD-40 on it as oil. And like we said today, WD-40 is not oil. It's a good cleaner, but it's not a lubricant. WD-40 on their gun and it's still running. Yeah. Them Tauruses run. They're like, even the high points. High points run. People can say what they want to say about that gun. It's hard to kill it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, who was that a long time ago? They had to put a damn screw in the damn barrel to make it shoot, and it still shot. Demolition Ranch tried to destroy it. He couldn't destroy it. And you talking about make this thing a race gun. My mind been on this all night because I'm saying, what the hell can I do to make this 45 a race gun? What can I add? I don't know.
I'm going to say this. I know a lot of people going to trip when I said Taurus and quality. Let me cut this damn light on again. Yes, I said quality. I'm going to say this because it works. See, a lot of people get butthole hurt because when they think quality, they automatically go straight to price. Y'all don't expose it already. You being pimped out your pocket. You paying overpriced shit for shit you got to go fix up. That's not quality to me. That's like you just been pimped out your pocket. The Taurus G3, you go look anywhere on YouTube, man. I've seen some of the most craziest, talking about torture tests you can do. And it runs. So that's when I say quality, if it works, it functions like it's supposed to, you put your life behind it, that's quality to me. I'm not just so sold off of, the pricing or something, you know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of these people being pimped out their pockets.
Okay, Saint. So I'm gonna bring up something that I know the price is very agreeable for almost 100% of Taurus shooters, right? Of anybody can afford $200 for a gun, right?
Yeah.
However, at 15 yards, are your groupings going to be the same as a Staccato CS with that Taurus?
It depends on how many rounds. Probably not. I mean, I understand that gun you just spoke of got better parts, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna be accurate. I might not be as accurate.
Is it $2,000
worth? The vibrations and all that? What'd you say?
Is it worth $2,000? Is your life worth $2,000 versus $400? I mean,
yes, it is.
So that goes to say that technically you should pick the better gun because you're going to need that performance when you're on the move or shooting back.
Yeah. Right? This is my thing, though. I'm going to knock you the hell off at that range anyway. So I'm not even tripping about that. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, your life is priceless. Yeah, you pay for what matters. But at the end of the day, you gotta be, you gotta use, common sense. It's like a lot of this at the end of the day, it's about the dollar.
It is.
So if they can pimp you out your pockets on certain things, then hey, that's gonna be the play. I don't want a lot of people that's the whole thing. That's the whole reason why they making guns affordable. Hey, I can't get the Glock, it's too high. The SIG is too high.
Right.
A lot of these people can't even see past a certain distance.
They
So
can't.
your life is in jeopardy anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
I always
yeah,
say shoot what you can afford, right?
right.
Shoot the longest barrel, the heaviest gun, and what you can afford. Um, and for some people, that might be the high point. You know,
Yeah. Or the
they
Glock
don't have,
17.
they don't have $25 extra a month in free money. And maybe this is the situation they're in at the time. However, something is always better than nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, we talk smack about High Point, but trust it. If any of us, they took all the guns away, and all that was left was a few janky old High Points, that been in somebody's basement for the last 15 years. Guess what? We're gonna tune that shit up and we're gonna use it.
I'm gonna use it over there, Jimenez, that was made in Las Vegas. That gun they're gonna lock up on me every 4 to 6 shots.
He talking about the Jimenez, aka Bryco. Bryco turned Jimenez. The husband sold the company to the wife. The wife turned it to the brother-in-law, to the nephew, or something like that.
It's just been passed around.
You know what I was really sad that didn't work out was the Hudson.
Yeah, the Hudson 9 was a good gun.
Yeah.
That was an awesome gun. That was innovative.
Right.
Well, what killed Hudson was the fact that they're like, oh yeah, we know there's some issues, so we're gonna come out with the Hudson 2. And people went, oh, all right. Well, we aren't buying the new one or the old one then. We're just gonna wait for that new one to come out. And they're like, well, no. You got to buy the old one. That way we have the money to make the new one. And everybody was like, hell with that.
Right. And I'm really want to get my hands on a Burno.
Oh, my boy just got one. Listen, I want you to go to hold on.
Yo, I gotta leave. I'll see y'all later.
All right, Kaden.
All right, see ya.
Appreciate you sliding in, bro.
See you, Kaden.
See you guys
Catch
later.
you back on the system, man.
This guy here, man. You see she on one.
Game on.
Yo, Tackleberry.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna be on Xbox tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be on Xbox tomorrow before I go to work.
Bet. See you later.
All righty. The Bruno, the FK Bruno. I want the one that I want cost $7,000. It was the single action. A friend of mine had it, and I could have traded for it, and I should have traded. I was listening to other people, and I should have just went on and got it.
Were you listening about the ammo prices?
I don't even care about the ammo prices. I got somebody that got the ammo for like $60. So that's a little bit over $1 around, and I just worked it. And they had the FK Bruno, and he have the gun. The gun has the 10 millimeter, the 9 millimeter, and the Bruno barrel.
Oh man, you should have got that gun.
I should have got that damn gun. I was listening because my buddy was like, "Hey man, Gershon told me because he just got it." And if you go to Gershon Tech's YouTube channel, you'll see we made a little mini movie. We made a mini movie with it, and we made it at ETTS. You can't even tell, but we made the movie, and it's nice. But the gun in 10 millimeter shoot okay, but that Bruno round is where it's at. That Bruno round is where it is at. And if any firearms company listen to me, make a PCC in 357 SIG. Hopefully that'll make, because if 10 millimeter can get a shot of adrenaline, I think 357 SIG should get a shot of adrenaline. Yes, it's snappy. Mm-hmm. The problem was the round was always high for no damn reason. For too many polices to have their round for it to be so goddamn high. It was shit. Texas DPS still use it. Drop the price on the round and make it available in a PCC.
Right.
Make it available. Give me a Scorpion that shoots 7.62 by 25 millimeter or 357 SIG.
So I'd like him to see him take like something like a 357 SIG and use a 10 mil case on it and neck it down.
Oh,
you talk about some stupid ballistics, like.
But it's already using the 40, and the 40 ain't nothing but a 10 couldn't have.
Yeah, but when you put like a 357 SIG with that,
you're talking more powders.
Yeah, a lot more powder, and you got a little tiny bullet.
Yeah. You talking about taking what they doing to a lot of these rifle rounds and doing it to the pistol for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Play with the neck and the gyro.
Ooh, damn. That'll be a nasty PCC, boy.
Right. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna hit whatever's behind your target. Like that's a given. The bullet's gonna
So-
pass right through somebody. But
That's why
the speed at which it passed through you matters.
yeah.
That is weight damage and that is instant shock, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say a 357 SIG is what is it? Extreme trauma. Because it shocks the nervous system when you hit like a 40. It disrupts the nervous system because the bullet, pow,
Right.
man. But that's why I didn't understand why they let the 7.62 by 25, because that's what the 357 SIG, the modern day version of the 357 SIG, run with that Papa Shot round, because they made a damn good PPC. It made a damn good PCC back then in World War II.
So imagine the 357 SIG now. You know those rounds that open up and pedal,
Yeah,
and it retains its full weight. It just literally opens wide and stays flat, right? Imagine that in the 10 mil case.
ooh.
That'd be good.
That's what kind of energy dump would that be? And you got that kind of fingerprint, you know.
That'll be hitting. That'll be like hitting somebody with a 30-30 at close range. It's gonna take a limb off.
Like taking it's like taking an ideal, I think, from the 45 gap. When they went 45 gap, they wanted to make the ACP faster and I guess more controllable.
They should have just stuffed some more powder in it.
I mean, it used the full potential of its powders. That's something 45 ACP was lacking. It left like what? I did a little research on it. When they did the 45 gap, they were saying that it used, the full use of its powders versus the 45 ACP. It left, a little room for more powders that could have been put into that. So I'm like, okay, you take that, you not necking it down, you're just making it smaller and faster, and just looking at
basically what they did was they 10 millimeter 40 caliber. The 10 millimeter was too hard for 65 FBI agents. They made the 40 cal. Now they're saying they got 9 millimeters that's doing the same bliss as a 10 millimeter, so you don't need a 10 millimeter to go back to 9 millimeter.
A lot of people complaining about 45 ACP not being fast enough.
You know that saying there's no replacement for displacement? That applies to bullets too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grain weight matters.
Right.
Yeah. They got it in 230. They have it in 200. They got it in 180. They got grains for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's not too many. It's not a lot of companies pushing around.
Right.
I feel like if there was more companies pushing around, it'll be a lot more 45 gap talk out here.
What did Ice Cube say? The bigger the cap,
the bigger the pillow.
Bigger the feeling.
Yeah.
Bigger the feeling. Hey, look, y'all. We finna shut it down, but we're gonna go backstage if they ain't finna go to sleep yet. Shout out to our channels, man. Odin, man, dude. When I say I appreciate you for stopping through tonight, man, you made an interesting night tonight. And dude, we can gun talk all day long. That's my stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Man, shout out to you.
I'm watching Lone Star Gun Show this weekend.
Which one?
Lone Star.
Fort Worth?
Fort Worth, yeah.
I hate Fort Worth because you got to pay for parking and pay to get in.
You know what?
Fort Worth just sucks all the way around.
But if you live in the parking garage, it's a lot cheaper. Number one, you just got to walk across the courtyard to get into the gun show. Some people park off-site too, and just walk over. But I'm old and fat, so I can't walk that far.
Yeah, me too, man. I be losing my titties. I work too hard to grow these to be the lesbian that I am. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to YouTube and your IG and all that good stuff, man. My moderators done dipped out.
Yeah.
And your social media. Shout out to channels, man. For the last 11,000 of our subscribers can get this.
Man, say I'll kick it off. Y'all know me, man. I'm Saint the Realist 2.0. You know, stay active, real is rare, aka game on, bang strong. You're gonna catch me dropping gaming content again and again, and I'm gonna keep on spinning. So that's what I'm on right now. I'm also big in the 2A side of things, and I will be back in full effect at a later time. So stay active, real is rare. Catch me on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. Just type it in. Stay active, real is rare. Bug Nation.
Bug Nation. That was Saint the Realist. Barbecue, give it up.
All right, so this is Guns and Barbecue. I am the Bug Nation token white guy. Y'all know this. Obviously, there's the Guns and BBQ YouTube channel. You can catch it on Instagram, Twitter as well. There's also a Guns and BBQ Facebook page. All that thing. If you go to the About Me section on the YouTubes, don't forget that's a great section. And Bug, we need to get yours up, and we need to get yours up there, Saint, because y'all are lacking in that. I feel like one of these days in the Bug Nation Instagram thing, maybe we'll just do like a little tutorial, like, hey, y'all suck at this part. You need to get all your information in there. That way, you know, when awesome people like Odin happen to stumble upon your YouTube channel and be like, man, this Bug guy's awesome. How do I get a hold of him? You don't have no contact information, no email here. What the hell's going on? Y'all are lacking. We're gonna get that fixed.
Damn, on live. Okay. Damn. Golden. Whoa. Okay, Barbecue. I love you too. Okay, see you in the back. Bye-bye. Go ahead, Odin. Shout out to.
All right. Yeah, everybody. I'm Odin Armory. You can catch me at primarily on my website, odinarmory.com, or my IG page, where I release most of my new wares. That's Odin_armory.com. But yeah, our motto is fixing industry problems one gun at a time. And let's have more gun, and we can fix it. Thank you all.
I stay in the back chat, man. I want to run it with you right quick.
All right.
Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. It's that time. Let's do it.
2-3s got choppers and cool beans. They say Bud came through and left 50 shots on the skin. Big ass stick, he pull the trigger, it's kicking like gas feet. Big telescope on top of stick, that bitch reach 1,500 feet. Like what you want, got buku iron, nigga. What you trying to see, got
Bud, man. I appreciate y'all come through this wicked wins, man. Thanks out, man. The Odin Armory, man. He come through. Put it down, let y'all see some innovative new stuff y'all seen it first on the Bug Nation, on Tackleberry Bees and the Bug Nation. Shout out to my boy Barbecue, man. You know what I'm saying? He say he's the token white boy, but he's not. He's the only black person on the panel because we are Caucasians. Look at my hand. Yeah. That is us. But hey, man, check me out on all social media platforms, Tackleberry Bug. And if you're on the Xbox, I do be doing the game. Check me out, Tackleberry BG. That's on Xbox, on full PlayStation. Hate it. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through, and may God bless you, and may y'all have another night. And like I tell you every week, if nobody told you today, God love you, I love you, please my talk to hit the DM, and stay strapped. Situation awareness is king. Y'all be out. It's Tackleberry Bug.